show that holds back nothing on opinions.
Straight shooting LJA.
Hi, I'm John Sitton.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
The G-Man.
Samira Sawney, Motivate Sports and Fitness.
Christian Carambeu.
Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan.
We the people, for the people. Jazzy Fizzle.
Your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Each and every Monday night of your lives.
At youtube.com/pitch talk.
For podcast links and information, check out our official website, www.pitch-talk.com.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Christian Carambeu.
Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan.
Dave McLaughlin.
I'm Rob Lusher.
Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
Former Chairman of Ibis FC.
Chairman of Alexandra Park FC.
And you're listening to
Pitch Talk. The only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Make sure you join the revolution, the football revolution.
Hi, I'm John Sitton, and I'm here with Gavin, Liam and Gerald on Pitch Talk.
The football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez. My name is Christian Carambeu.
I'm grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hi, I'm Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan, and you're listening to Pitch Talk, the only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I'm Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
I'm Rob Lusher, former Chairman of Ibis FC.
I'm Samira Sawney, co-founder and co-director of Motivate Sports and Fitness.
And you're listening
to Pitch Talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, straight shooting LJA, the G-Man and Jazzy Fizzle proudly bring to you the football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions. Why? Because the pitch is where we eat, the pitch is where we sleep, and the pitch is where we talk. Right now, we are going to be supplying updates of a quite important match, semi-important match in the Premier League right now. Semi-important, not that important, unless you're a Leicester City supporter or unless you're a fan of the Premier League in general and football in general. It's not that important. But no, it's one of them ones where, right now, about 4 minutes played, Chelsea 0, Tottenham 0 is a latest score. Remember, anything but a win for Tottenham will hand the league to Leicester City. That's how important this game is. It is one of them ones. So quite a lot of holding there. Quite a lot of holding with Vertonghen on Terry. Surprised nothing was given for that. Considering we saw some penalties given for less over the weekend. But anyway, it is one of them ones where, we are your Monday Night Football Fix, and we are live. www.pitch-talk.com is the official website. Find out about everything PT there on our website. Also, youtube.com/pitch talk as well is where you can find all the videos including our Pitch Talk Rants of the Week, Push Points, the Cup Final Series, the PT Meets Series as well. Also, we will be on Wembley Way on Saturday, May 21st for the FA Cup final. Well, at least two of the trifecta will be. So it is one of them ones. Pitch Talk at the FA Cup final will be going down this year as per usual. But also remember facebook.com/pitch talk. Become a fan, become a friend, become a member of the group. Join the footballing revolution we're working so hard to create. Also, pitchtalk.blogspot.com or .co.uk will get you to the blogs by yours truly, Straight Street and LJ, the G-Man, Jezzy Fizzle, and many others, including Dave Meir, aka at Meir C, and his Word of a Ref blogs as well. Remember, 07535804466 is the mobile number. Call us, text us, let us know your views. If you text in, please leave your name at the end of the text so we can give you a little shout out. Also, here's one of them where you can get in touch. Pitch Talk 1 on Skype. Big ups to Brad Hicks, who, of course, is glued to Chelsea v Tottenham, considering his beloved Leicester could be celebrating a Premier League win by tonight. Hopefully he's got the brewskis in the fridge on standby. That was one would hope. Also big ups to Russ Vernon, Mike Harniman, and Ryan Sonley, who are on the Skype chat as well. 6.5 minutes gone. It's still Chelsea 0, Tottenham 0. But yeah, it is one of them where we are live. We are live. Twitter.com/PitchTalk or at PitchTalk on Twitter. Tweet with us, follow us, see what we are up to as well. It is one of them ones. But yeah, right now we are live. We are live as live can be. I'm not going to prove how live, but we are live. And you know what? Big time shout outs to Finn White Line Magazine at Tweet White Line on Twitter, Facebook.com/Finn White Line Magazine, and FinnWhiteLineMagazine.com as well. Go and pick up the digital editions. I think issue 1 and issue 2 as well. And proceeds are going to actually a really good cause, so it's worth jumping over to their website for that. We will be having the A-League, the Hyundai A-League round up from Finn White Line Magazine and Ian Kerr, the editor of Finn White Line Magazine, later on in the show, so stick around for that. We've got a hell of a lot to discuss on tonight's show, so it will be fun. It will be fun. We'll have a couple of our co-hosts here a little later on, so it is one of them ones. But, you know what? Without further ado, just waiting for that attack to die down. 8 minutes score on Chelsea 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0 is a current score. And speaking of current, it's time to go into results and analysis. Yeah, let's roll into, we've got a lot in terms of results and analysis. We got a hell of a lot to go through, but it's kind of hard to know where to start, considering we got so much to go through. Here's one of them ones. I'm just trying to pick a spot to start. Not your dog spot, not your liver spot, but a spot. To start the festivities. And you know what? Let's go. Yeah, let's go into. It's getting a little interesting with Chelsea and Tottenham at the moment. Still 0-0, by the way. About 10 minutes played. Just as a quick update on that one. But yeah, let's roll in to. Tempted to take the Europa League first, but no. Let's go into the Champions League. Tuesday. 26th of April 2016 in the Champions League, Manchester City 0, Real Madrid 0. Here's one of them ones where could have went either way, and Joe Hart was called into action quite a lot late on in that game, but 0-0 it is, and delicately poised as it goes back to the Bernabeu this coming Wednesday. Sky Bet Championship, Hull City 0, Dean with an own goal on 31 minutes, and Diame getting the second for Hull on 41. Walsall 2, Shrewsbury 1. Morris scored for Walsall on 11 minutes. Henry scored on 44 minutes, but Sadler got one back for Shrewsbury on the hour mark. Sky Bet League 2, Wimbledon 0, Portsmouth 1. Smith with the only goal of the game on 35 minutes. Shifted on to Wednesday, 27th of April, 2016, where we got with that. Atletico Madrid 1, Bayern Munich 0 in the Champions League. Saul Niguez with a goal of the week contender, scoring the only goal of that game on 11 minutes. So Atletico Madrid shut out Bayern, and is one of them ones. Bayern, try as they might, just couldn't break down that Atletico Madrid wall. But Saul Niguez's goal, definitely a goal for the week later on in the show. Stick around for that. Caller, you're through to your Monday Night Football and Fix. Who have we got the pleasure of conversing with right now?
It's Tom.
Hey Tom, how's it going, man? You all good?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yourself?
Yeah, not half bad. You sticking around for the rest of the show?
Yeah, I'm going to stick around for the results and all that.
Fantastic.
We'll talk about the South and Bradford result on the weekend when you get to it.
Nicely done. Well, you know what? Let's carry on with some of the other results. We've also had a text through as well. Ryan suddenly said, big shout out to Brad Hicks, Jeanette Scottsbrook, and Sean Scottsbrook on their little bit of footage outside the King Power Stadium on Sky Sports News as well. So big shouts on that one. Big time shouts. Sticking with Wednesday, 27th April 2016, the FAWSL 1, Liverpool Ladies 2, getting the opening goal on 15 minutes, Gilly Flaherty scoring on 64 minutes, and we're getting one back for Liverpool Ladies on 2 minutes. Birmingham City Ladies 2, Doncaster Rovers Bells 1, Tastawi opening and scoring on 6 minutes, Aisi equalising for Birmingham City on 15 minutes, and Lawley winning it on 30 minutes. Reading Women 1, Arsenal Ladies 2 on 30 minutes, Janssen on 59 minutes, and Follis on 79 got one back for Reading. For Reading's ladies, carrying on in terms of results, we move on to before we actually move on, big shout outs to Girls on the Ball. If you want to know anything about women's football, they are the aficionados, Sophie and Rachel, and their bunny Scotty as well. They are the official comes to women's football, the FAWSL 1, WSL 2, WPL, Internationals, the Women's Champions League. It is one of them. Was check out Girls on the Ball at Girls on the Ball on Twitter, facebook.com/Girls on the Ball, and girlsontheball.com. They have pictures, blogs, match reports. It is one of them. It is well worth giving Sophie and Rachel a follow on the social networks and let them know that we sent you. It was big time shout outs to the women's football aficionados. Girls on the Ball. Let's shift on to Thursday, 28th of April 2016 in the Europa League semi-finals. To Sevilla 2. Machin Perez opening the scoring on 6 minutes. Romero Bonfim score equalising for Shakhtar on the night on 23 minutes. But Stepanenko scored on 35 minutes. But Gamiero scored a penalty on 82 minutes. It was one of them there was contact, but the most was made of that contact. But it was one of them ones where, yeah, you had to say it was a penalty. But 2 away goals for Sevilla, and Shakhtar Donetsk still have it all to do away from home. But one side who couldn't get an away goal is Liverpool. Villarreal 1, Liverpool 0. Adrian on 92 minutes scoring the only goal of the game. A real sucker punch. And in all honesty, really poor defending as well, considering Liverpool dominated possession, didn't create too many gilt-edged chances, to be honest. But like I've been saying to people, via way out, no pushovers. Definitely no pushovers. It is one of them ones. But the fact of the matter is, all to do at Anfield, but it can be done. And in my view, it will be done. And in that final that's coming up, it's one of them ones I think will be in it. Still think that. But all to do. Definitely all to do in that one. Friday 29th April 2016, Birmingham City 2, Middlesbrough 2. Gleeson opening the scoring on 33 minutes. Jordan Rhodes equalising on 40 minutes. Gaston Ramirez putting Middlesbrough into the lead on 57 minutes, but Davis equalising on 68 minutes. FAWSL 1, Sunderland Ladies 0, Manchester City Women 2. Nikita Paris opening the scoring on 40 minutes and Tony Duggan scoring the second on 76. It's been interesting so far, but it gets even more interesting as we cross over into the weekend's results. So let's jump straight in. Saturday 30th of April 2016, Everton 2, Bournemouth 1. Tom Cleverley opening the scoring on 7 minutes. Cleverley worked goal as well. But Mark Pugh equalised on 9 minutes. Leighton Baines scored the winner on 64 minutes, lashing home from close range. Newcastle United 1, Crystal Palace 0. Andros Townsend with a superb free kick, winning it on 58 minutes. And you know what? Easily a goal of the week contender. What a free kick for what it meant and for the technique on it. Superb. Absolutely superb. And yeah, Cole Darlow's penalty save wasn't the best of penalties from Johan Cabaye, but it still had to be saved. So it's one of them ones. Big ups to Cole Darlow on that one. That penalty save and that goal could mean a whole hell of a lot as it took Newcastle out of the relegation zone. But both teams immediately below them have a game in hand over them. So something they're going to have to be mindful of. Momentum is key. Stoke 1, Sunderland 1. Speaking of the teams below Newcastle, Arnautovic opened the scoring on 50 minutes, but Jermaine Defoe equalised with a penalty on 94 minutes. And that is hilariously ironic. 18 minutes in, just seen a poster. Just seen someone with a little scrawly drawing poster saying, "Let's do it for Ranieri, the man who your club sacked in 2003. Yeah, okay, cool. yeah, okay, cool. Sorry, the irony of that is not lost on me. But yeah, it is one of them ones where, let's carry on in terms of the results. Watford 3, Aston Villa 2. Kieran Clark opening and scoring on 28 minutes. Basically shocking the Hornets into action, but Abdi scored in first half stoppage time to equalise. Jordan Ayew scored on 48 minutes. Ali Sissoko was sent off on 73 minutes. Last man took his man down. Letter of the law says you go. That rule will be changing in June. So it's very interesting. But yeah, Troy Deeney with a late brace, 90 and 93 minutes, giving Watford the win. West Brom 0, West Ham 3. Kouyaté on 34 minutes. First half stoppage time, Mark Noble got his first and his second on 79 minutes. It is one of them. But yeah, Arsenal 1, Norwich 1. Danny Welbeck with the only goal of the game on 59 minutes. In the Sky Bet Championship, Bolton 1, Hull 0. Dobby with the only goal of the game on 65 minutes to give already relegated Bolton the win. Brentford 3, Fulham 0. Saunders opening the scoring on 5 minutes. Hogan scoring on 7 and 40 minutes. Apparently Fulham were actually woeful and just couldn't get the ball. But yeah, Bristol City 4, Huddersfield 0. Khadija on 45, Brian on 64, Khadija again on 67, and Lee Tomlin on 77. Ipswich 3, MK Dons 2. McGoldrick on 16 minutes opened the scoring for Ipswich. Ravel equalised from the penalty spot in first half stoppage time. Pittman scored on 68. Ravel scored again on 74, and Varney scored on 90 minutes. Yeah, it one of them. Oof. Oh wow, Lloris getting called into action in the Spurs Chelsea match. And them was 20 minutes gone, by the way. It is still Chelsea 0, Tottenham 0. Yeah, Leeds 1, Charlton 2. Yes, Russ. Leeds 1, Charlton 2. Berg Goodmanson opening the scoring on 39 minutes. Lookman scored on 49 minutes, and Sol Bamba got one back on 71 minutes. And by the way, that's already relegated Charlton as well. Nottingham Forest 1, Wolves 1. Mason opened scoring for Wolves on 58 minutes, but Gardner scored on 68 minutes to equalise for Forest. Reading 1, Preston 2. Beckford opening scoring on 56 minutes. Quinn equalising on 86, and Johnson winning it for Preston on 91 minutes. Rotherham 0, Blackburn 1. Duffy with the only goal of the game on 6. Sheffield Wednesday 3, Cardiff 0. Hooper on 64. Lee Peltier with an own goal on 75, and Hooper scored again on 94 minutes. In Sky Bet League 1, Blackpool 0, Wigan 4. And by virtue of this, Wigan promoted back to the Championship. McCann on 60 minutes, Wild shot on 70 and 72, and Grigg scoring on 85. Barnsley 2, Colchester 2. Moncur opening the scoring for Colchester on 42. Fletcher equalised for Barnsley on 57. Gave Barnsley the lead on 80, and Lapsley scored on 98 minutes to equalise. Burton 2, Gillingham 1. Akins on 44 minutes opened the scoring for Burton. McDonald equalised on 49 for Gillingham, and Naylor scored on 92 minutes for Burton to win it for them. Chesterfield 3, Bury 0. O'Shea scoring a penalty on 29. Lee Novak in first half stoppage time, and Gardner scoring on 71. Coventry 3, Sheffield United 1. Fortune on 4, Rose on 8. Billy Sharp scored a penalty on 58 minutes, but Lamira scored on 87 to make it a bit more convincing for Coventry. Millwall 3, Oldham 0. Webster on 5 minutes. Ferguson on 40, and Webster again on 54. Rochdale 2, Swindon 2. Jordan Beaker opening and scoring on 2 minutes for Swindon. Thompson scoring, adding a second in first half stoppage time, but Allen got one back for Rochdale in first half stoppage time as well. Thompson was actually, one of the Thompsons was actually booked in first half stoppage time, then sent off on 58. Ormond Ottawell was sent off on 88 minutes, and Lund equalised on 67 minutes for Rochdale. Scunthorpe 1, Port Vale 0. Paddy Madden with the only goal of the game on 61 minutes, and Rochdale also missed a penalty. Thank you for that, Michael Harniman. Thank you very much. Shrewsbury 3, Peterborough 4. Where we going? Baldwin on 42, Angol on 46, and Angol again on 69. So that's 3-0. Akpro on 74, Mangan on 85, and the comeback was complete when Grimmer scored on 89 minutes. But still time for one more goal and the sending off, because it was one of them was Taylor on 94 minutes, and Black was sent off on 95 minutes. So a goal for Peterborough, then a sending off for Shrewsbury right at the death. Southend United 0, Bradford 1. Evans with the only goal of the game on 12 minutes. And yeah, it was one of them was actually. I'll let Mr. Harniman articulate that himself in a second. But Crew 3, Doncaster 1. Rowe opening the scoring for Doncaster on 28 minutes. Ainley on 43, Haber on 57, and Inman on 89, giving Crew the win. Sky Bet League 2, Barnet 3, Yeovil 4, Gash on 22 minutes, not getting paid by the hour. Gash on 22 minutes, Akinde from the penalty spot on 52, scored again on 62. And he was actually booked on 78 as well. But Dolan scored on 55, Smith on 63, Zoko on 76. That left it at 3-3, 95 minutes. Cornick scored the winner for Yeovil. Cambridge 2, Plymouth 2. One of them was Matt opening the scoring for Plymouth on 71 minutes, Williamson on 84, Spencer on 86, and Carey equalised for Plymouth on 92 minutes. We know Ryan Solney's going to have something to say about that one. Carlisle 0, Oxford United 2, Maguire on 4 minutes and from the penalty spot, and Sercombe on 74 minutes. Dagenham and Redbridge 3, Crawley 0, Deutsch on 51, again on 53, Hemmings on 80. Exeter 1, Morecambe 1. Ellison opening and scoring for Morecambe on 85. Stockley scoring a penalty on 89. Hartlepool 0, Portsmouth 2. Naismith on 57. Chaplin on 84. Leyton Orient 1, Mansfield 0. Palmer with the only goal of the game for Orient on 48 minutes. Newport County 0, Notts County 1. Snidgers scoring on 39 minutes, the only goal of the game. Big shout outs actually to the man they call Big T, the man we always throw them T's up for, and that is Tom Hewitt. Big shout outs. And Fabregas has just pulled one wide on 26 minutes. Kyle Walker booked as well. Tottenham kind of living dangerously on the counter. Living a little dangerously. Chelsea looking lively on the break. Northampton Town 2, Luton Town 0. Diamond on 4 minutes, Marquise on 36 minutes, Stevenage 0, Wimbledon 0, Wickham 0, Accrington 1. Hughes on 78 minutes with the only goal in that game. York 1, Bristol Rovers 4. Bowden opened the scoring for Bristol Rovers on 19, scored again on 71. Easter scored on 80. McAvoy got one back for York on 81, and Mansell scored on 88. Let's shift on to Sunday, May 1st, 2016. Swansea City 3, Liverpool 1, and I'm not repeating that scoreline again. Andre Ayew on 20 minutes, opening and scoring. Cork on 33 minutes. Benteke got a header back on 65 minutes, but Andre Ayew scored again on 67 minutes. Brad Smith was actually sent off. He was one of a number of changes. You could see that Jurgen Klopp has Thursday's Europa League semi-final, second leg in mind. You could see that with the team put out, especially with guys like Chirivella starting, Stewart starting, Ward as well. So it was one of them ones. You can see that attention was elsewhere. But it's a case of the team weren't good enough to win. But speaking of winning, Man United 1, Leicester 1. Anthony Martial with a quality goal on the far post, left unmarked, scoring on 8 minutes. But Wes Morgan showing that Leicester still have that bounce back ability when they go behind, scoring on 17 minutes. Danny Drinkwater was sent off for a second bookable on 86 minutes. For me, looked a little harsh as a second bookable. I think it was one of them ones, if he wasn't booked already, he wouldn't have been booked for it, I don't think. But hey, if you're on a second bookable, if you're on a yellow card, you've always got to be careful. Just ask Kyle Walker tonight. 28 minutes gone. Chelsea 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Remember, it's one of them ones where anything less than a win for Tottenham hands the league to Leicester City. Just bear that in mind. Southampton 4, Manchester City 2. SH. Long, aka Shane Long, on 25 minutes. Mane on 28 minutes. Iheanacho scored on 44 minutes. Mane scored again on 57 and completed his hat-trick on 68. And Iheanacho got his second on 78 minutes. FAWSL 1, it was Arsenal ladies 0, Birmingham City ladies 0. For more information on that, match reports, images as well. It's one of them was Girls on the Ball at girlsontheball.com. Go to their website. It's one of them ones at Girls on the Ball on Twitter and Facebook.com/Girls on the Ball as well. FAWSL 1 from Monday, 2nd of May 2016. Manchester City women 6, Doncaster Rovers Bells 0. Lucy Bronze opening the scoring on 8 minutes. Jill Scott scoring on 11 minutes. Ross on 41 minutes. Beattie on 45. Aslani in first half stoppage time, and Tony Duggan rounding out the scoring on 74 minutes for Man City's women. Reading women 1, Sunderland ladies 1. And Beth Mead opening the scoring on 8 minutes. Beer was sent off on 74 and Ward scored a penalty to level up for Reading women on 74 minutes. Notts County ladies 3, Liverpool ladies 2. Ellen White opening the scoring on 13 minutes. Jess Clark scoring on 34 and Ellen White scoring again on 59. Zellum scored a penalty on 85 minutes and scored again on 87 for Liverpool ladies. In the Sky Bet Championship, Brighton 1, Derby 1. Andy Vyman opening the scoring on 71 minutes. Lewis Dunk was sent off on 83 minutes after being booked on 42 minutes. And Wilson equalised on 95 minutes for Brighton. But by virtue of that result, Burnley promoted. So Burnley will be back in the Premier League next year, guaranteed. So congratulations to them. Welcome back to the big time, boys. Welcome back to the big time. Walsall 3, Fleetwood 1. Bradshaw opened the scoring on 2 minutes. Downing on 18 minutes. Sawyers giving Walsall a 3-0 lead on 58 minutes. But Cole got one back on 84 minutes. And right now, 31 minutes gone. Chelsea 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. And that's where we're at. I know the Skypers want to jump in. But we've also got Tom Wood on the line. Did you want to jump in on some of the results, especially, of course, Southend as well?
Scarpers jump in first.
No, fair dues. Which one of the Skypers is going to jump in first?
I'll say Russ with the lead result.
Oh, hoping so. After losing the chart, and you almost kind of hope so. Go on, Russ Vernon, have at it.
Rather than Liam, and good evening, Tom, by the way, who's on the phone as well. Hope you're doing good, Tom. And like I said in the Skype chat, Leeds were shocking until Charlton had gone 2-0 up. I don't know. I think he was like the players were already on the beach somewhere, going on holiday and that. And then as soon as Charlton went 2-0 up, we started to play. Go back through Sol Band, a fantastic finish from him. And then we just couldn't get that second goal. We thought we'd go when Chris Wood had an header which would bounced on the line and then he didn't boss in. Also, I just want to say, unlucky to Rotherham United, and just want to say congratulations, they stayed up as well, which is a brilliant achievement for them. And going back to Leeds as well, Liam, I just want to say congratulations to young left back Charlie Taylor, who picked up our Player of the Year award in our end of season awards on Saturday. Also, congratulations to Lewis Cook. He picked up 2 awards. He picked up for the second consecutive year Young Player of the Year, and he also got Goal of the Season with his strike against Fulham, which was a fantastic goal, I must say, at Ellen Road. And also, I want to say congratulations to Stuart Dallas, who got Player of the Year at Leeds United. And then also, I just want to say congratulations to Bale and Liam on getting promoted this evening. Fantastic goal from them to win it and to get promoted as well. And I must say the Brighton game, that was a good game. I thought they deserved a point. And I must say, I think in the Fleetwood game, I thought that was a fantastic game. And I think Walsall deserved to take all 3 points in that one. And I just want to now say good luck to Brad and Leicester, who can win the title this evening. Hope you do it, my friend. And Jimmy Vardy is the Leicester boys at his house right now. Back over to Liam in the studio.
Hoping so in terms of the party mood. In terms of the party mood, you would hope so, but right, it's one of them was Leicester, and 34 minutes gone. Tottenham have gone 1-0 up. So it is one of them ones. So yeah, it is one of them ones where 34 minutes gone. Chelsea 0, Tottenham 1. And that is a latest score. So it's one of them. It was a nicely worked goal as well. Suspicions of offside, maybe? Nope, he's on. Nope, he's on. Any part of the body he can score with. His knee was most advanced, and that was more than level. So it is one of them. Was the Premier League title race gets even more interesting. Mr. Harniman, would you like to add to that? And also your view on the week's results?
Right, I'm not going to add to that. I'm going to just go into the weekend's results, really. And I just want to, first of all, give a big shout out to the Bradford City fans that walked to Southend on Saturday. I think when I spoke to them, they said they left, I think it was about sort of 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. And they'd done it all in aid of Macmillan for the cancer trust and that. So that was really, really good. Really friendly people as well, the ones I spoke to, and, really nice guys and that. So big well done to them, and also to the players from Southend and Bradford as well. I had quite a couple of decent chats with some of the players, and a lot of them, stopped and signed autographs and spoke to us and that as well. Maurice was speaking to us about while he was at Stevenage, and how he's gone on since. So that's a little chat with us as well. Also just want to say that Stevenage have, started to pick up as well. They've got another decent point against Wimbledon on Saturday, and that's 4 unbeaten now for Stevenage as well. So very, very pleasing there. Big shout outs to Michael Tong and Fraser Franks, who won the Players Player of the Year award and Supporters Player of the Year award, respectively. Tong won one award and Fraser Franks won 3. Shouts to them. Costa's at it again here, as you can see. So, big shout outs to those that I've just mentioned. Arsenal, kind of, I'm not going to go into the protest side of it because I don't really want to. I think it's a bit stupid. As I said in the chat there, I think it's just ironic how everyone's saying, okay, they want Wenger gone. But then when it comes down to something, they're like, oh, there's only one Arsene Wenger. Doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
But you know what? Just coming back to that point. Actually, we actually it's funny because we've brought that up before on PT shows, where it's been like I think Jaymie Bailey was kind of the main person with that, where it's like, well, you can't exactly be calling for a manager's head all season, but then when he wins something, be celebrating it just like you never, and it's like you're either one or the other. You can't be celebrating. I mean, it's one of them was you can't be celebrating someone saying, yeah, he's done so well, when 9 times out of 10, and for most of the season, you'd be like, no, he needs to go. It's like you're either for or against. None of this flip-flopping stuff just.
Oh yeah, for definite. And a lot of the fans that were there on Saturday, it looked like a lot of the faces are faces that I recognise from Arsenal Fan TV who have actually come out vocally and said Wenger out. And when it comes down to it, they're just joining in singing Wenger's name. So I don't really know what the whole point of that protest was. It was very half-hearted, very kind of a bit stupid, really. And I just think, we should know by now that Wenger's not going to go anyway. So if we're going to protest at the start of the season. Next season if he's still there, but there's no point doing it now. He's already openly come out and said he's going to stay, so it's not even worth the time.
Well, I was going to say, if you're going to protest, at least do it right. It's like, well, it's funny actually that we're saying this in relation to Arsenal fans, considering some of the protests that we've seen relating directly to Arsenal when Bayern Munich came to Europe, and it was like, 5-minute protest. It's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's going to do any good. We were talking about it being a half-hearted protest. It's like, if you're going to protest the whole thing.
Yeah, for definite. And, I think it was Red Action and I can't remember who else that actually organised the protest. They're claiming it as a victory. I don't know how they can claim that as a victory when Arsene Wenger sat there and he's thinking, right, the majority of these 60,000 have been singing my name throughout the full 90 minutes plus. I'm going to be here next season, and whether the guys from Red Action or whatever like it or not. So, I don't understand how they can say that the protest was successful. But enough about that. The game itself, typical Arsenal. We were very, very lucky to get a win. I thought it was going to be another one like Norwich away, like Sunderland, like West Brom, like so many of the other games this season where we have chances but just don't take them. And the opposition come out. Petr Cech had to make 2 or 3 great saves from Nathan Redmond, and if it wasn't for that, then we could have well lost that game. So it's just like Arsenal. I think we'll get 4th, but it's nothing to celebrate. I'm not bothered by whether we finish 3rd, 4th, whatever. Like, the title was gone weeks ago. Spurs are not going to finish below us this season. I don't know what people were saying. Like, we're coming for Tottenham just because we beat Norwich and they hadn't played their game yet. And as you can see, they're already winning anyway. So, the fans that say that, ridiculous. Tottenham will finish above us this season, and fair enough, they might not win the title, but they'll be gloating like anything next season just for the fact that they finished in 2nd place and we finished 3rd, and they'll be in the Champions League, and I'll guarantee you they'll make a better fist of it than what we do.
You reckon they'll make a better fist of it? Honestly,
I reckon they will. Yeah.
Be interesting to see though, because you guys are a quarter-final team, so it's like if they get further than that, you could see what Man City are doing. So you never know. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, but look,
just
Man
look
City,
at what might.
You're saying
look at
look what Man City
happen.
are doing. That Man City side got battered 4-2 by Southampton.
Yeah.
Yes, certain players like Aguero weren't playing, but that was still a strong enough side to beat Southampton.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one of them ones. There is, yeah, it is one of them ones where it is one of them ones where it's kind of, I don't know, I just think it's a funny one, but it's one of them ones. But you know what? Yeah, you know what? This is one of them ones where we did where Ryan Sonley, I think, is next up. But he wanted to say also a big shout out to Jamie Richards, Shane White, Isaac Vassell, Ryan Brett, Matt J, Matt Wright, Aaron Bentley. Wish them all the best against Maidstone United in the National League South playoffs on Wednesday and Sunday. And considering that was from Ryan Sonley, Ryan, do you want to jump in on the week's results and the weekend's results?
Yeah, I'll jump in on the weekend's results. I was surprised with the Man City 0-0 draw with Real Madrid, but I mean, Real Madrid didn't have Ronaldo, so I mean, it's no iron team, but I was actually happy that Man City managed to get a draw. I mean, they got to go back to the Bernabeu and actually hope to get a goal and make Real Madrid come at them. Talk about Liverpool losing 1-0 to Villarreal. I thought Liverpool were unlucky. I mean, they're to hold Villarreal for 90-odd minutes, and then Villarreal get one in the last minute. Unlucky Liverpool, but hopefully you get the win and go and progress to the final. I'm going to talk about Middlesbrough versus Birmingham. Went 1-0 down through a good strike. Can't think who it was now. But it was a good strike. I mean, Demi couldn't even got a hand to it, and I mean, it was too powerful for him. But I mean, what the hell was the goalkeeper for Birmingham doing with the free kick? I mean, he let it slip out of his hand and let Jordan Rhodes pop up and score. But well done to him for that. And then we took the lead 2-1, and then I thought, oh yeah, game on. And then when it went 2 each, I thought, oh come on. And then we should have had a goal wrongly ruled out for offside. I mean, Daniel Ayala, 3 yards onside, and he actually scores. And what the hell was he actually thinking to rule that out? I mean, it was a perfectly good goal, and it obviously has ruined. Well, if we'd won that, we would have been top by the 3 points, and we would have been promoted. But the depending on the results today. But to be honest, I'm going to talk about Plymouth now. I mean, they went 1-0 up via Jamal Matt after 71 minutes. Then went and lost it.
Oh my! Sorry, Ryan. It's just all kind of heating up. It's all kind of heating up in the Chelsea Spurs match. So a little something between Danny Rose and Diego Costa's involved, of course. One of them was it's all erupted right by the touchline, right on half time as well. Very strange. Very, very strange. It's all kind of seeing Vertonghen doing the mouthy action. It's all interesting. Clattenburg's got the yellows out. Clattenburg's got the card out. Someone's going to get booked off. Someone's going to get booked off this. It's all to me. It looks like handbags at 10 paces, to be perfectly frank. But all right, Danny Rose booked, and it looks like Willian booked as well. It's one of them ones. Don't know whether it's for the stupid hair or something more serious, but there wasn't that much in it. Yeah, the reactions is really stupid. And Pochettino was in there quick, showing that turn of pace. Just had to say that because JVK is on the call. Pochettino showing that turn of pace. Very interesting. Sorry, Ryan. Carry on, man. Sorry about that.
It's all right, bud. I just seen that and I thought, what the hell? But going back to Plymouth, I mean, 1-0 up after 71 minutes with Jamal Matt. Let it slip on the 84th minute with Cambridge scoring, and then they went and scored a second in the 86th minute, and I was thinking, oh God. And then obviously Graham Carey scored in the 92nd minute, which has actually guaranteed us playoffs against Portsmouth. Tied to be decided if it's home or away first leg for either side at the weekend when we play Hartlepool and Portsmouth play Northampton. So, I mean, it's going to be a tasty semi-final, but if we can beat them over the two legs, we've got a good chance because it's either going to be AFC Wimbledon, it's going to be either Oxford, Bristol Rovers, because Accrington only need a point against Stevenage and they're up. So hopefully all the best to them.
No, definitely. I mean, this is the business end of the season where stuff's heating up. I was getting very, very interested. I was getting very, very interested. Here's one of them ones, though. By the way, that poster earlier, it's one of them ones. That poster earlier that we saw. What's it? Do it for Ranieri from a Chelsea fan. It's like, yeah, they are doing it for Ranieri because halftime, Chelsea 0, Spurs 2. Really are doing it for Ranieri. You gotta love it. Sometimes you gotta love it. You really do have to love it. But it's one of them ones. Chelsea 0, Spurs 2, halftime. Kane on 34, Son on 43. So it is one of them was that embarrassingly cringeworthy guy with the poster do it for Ranieri. Yeah, his team really is doing it for Ranieri and not helping them at all. Tremendous. Kerbal right on the strike one. Fantastic. It is one of them was, but it's one of them. In terms of opinions. It's one of them ones. Tom Wood, you've been waiting a while to jump in. You said let the Skypers go first, but now it's your turn. It's like, what's your views on the week and weekend's results?
The Real Madrid Man City game wasn't that really interesting, as I was told. But I think Real Madrid might snatch it 2-0 at the Bernabeu without getting the first in the week. And with the South and Bradford result, I think it was a fairly even match game up till they scored. But it gave some of our other players who hadn't played for a long while to get their run out, and hopefully they can end the season on a high by beating Bury on Sunday, not Saturday. But I was quite surprised with the Swansea Liverpool result as well. I thought Liverpool was going to win it, but they're more concentrating on the Europa League.
No, definitely. I mean, it is. It is one of them ones where you could see with the amount of changes. With the amount of changes made, I mean, I was thinking, yeah, we'll go to Swansea and beat them, and then it was like sort of starting lineups, and then it was like, okay, cool, right, we know where the focus is. This ain't gonna happen. I'm surprised that we were 2-0 down. I was working at the time, but it was like, wait, 2-0 down, okay, but it is one of them ones where it's like, where it's one of them ones, right? It should have been to be expected, really. But hell, one can't grieve forever. Thursday is the important one. So hoping we get to that final, especially because I've booked the day off work for it.
I also watched the England Legend game earlier as well, which was quite funny to watch.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of things about this. Well, I was working, so I didn't get to see it. But apparently,
Russell Howard had a good game when he came on.
Russell Howard is one of them ones. I've always heard he's a good footballer. So it's kind of like in one of the programs to one of his stand-ups, actually, he's actually got a picture of him doing a jumping scissors kick in the 93-94 Liverpool kit, the away kit at that. So it's quite an interesting one. I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, so he is a Liverpool supporter. It's true. But no, it was one of them ones. It is coming up to that time of the season where you're seeing Legends games and all that kind of thing. I was like, it is one of them ones. But yeah, Tom, you hanging around for a bit then? Still got a lot more show.
Yeah, I'm going to stick around because I'm hoping you're going to read out that story that I posted about that West Ham supporter.
Well,
the one you liked on Facebook.
Well, stick around. We got a lot of show to go through. It's one of them ones, huh? We've also got, you know what? I want to say a big hello to Jesse Fezzo. You there?
No.
What the blood you mean, no? Just stop doing that. What's happening, Jesse? You all good? You want to jump in with your view on the weekends matches?
Yeah, I'm good, man. It's a bit of a later appearance for me, but you know what? No, let's move on from my views on the weekend results, and let's just move on.
No, I hear that. It is one of them ones where JBK, I want to ask you as well. You want to jump in with your views? Is he there? Is JBK there?
No.
Is JBK there? Jaymie Bailey. Is JBK there?
Sorry.
It's one of those, man. You want to jump in with your views on the week and weekends matches?
Yeah, my bad. Just sending a message as quickly as I could. Matches this week, I wasn't really too bothered about them. Obviously, my season is pretty much over as far as amateur football is concerned. Watford are not obviously in the final, the FA Cup, so not really too bothered about that one. My ones are concerning something a bit more bigger in terms of your club, and I think the occasion really got to Liverpool this weekend. Whether or not there was players that needed to be dropped so that there's still a semi-final to be played or not. I think the problem is at the moment is who can sort of take the club forward at this point of the season. I know we've got next season and we see where it goes, but I think at the moment it's an emotional time. Not the greatest of times just to be a Liverpool player. Not the best of times. Probably the best of times to be an opponent of Liverpool's, and I really do hope that they get into that final and win it. So sort of, as everybody's kind of looking at Leicester City winning the title, I'm kind of going, yeah, Leicester, you probably won it. I'm going to go with Liverpool.
one of them ones where, of course, being a Liverpool supporter, I hope we get to the final and I hope we win it. At the same time, half of me, no, it's less than half of me, hopes that Man City win the Champions League as well, just to knock Man United out of a Champions League place, which would be hilarious. It actually would be funny, but I can't root for Man City at the same time. That's why it's not that big a part of me that hopes they do it. So it's one of them ones. I mean, out of those four left, I'd love to see Atletico Madrid win the Champions League. We were pulling for them when Real Madrid did La Decima. A lot of us were pulling for Atletico Madrid. So it's kind of like it was one of them ones when I wanted to see that happen. Then it could happen now. So it's one of them. It's one of them ways where it's going to be interesting. I love the fact that Jesse's like, why? But why? It's like there's a number of reasons why. Couple right almost struck one. But why? But fact of the matter is this. It's going to be very, very interesting. Advantage Atletico in that one. Definitely. Advantage Villarreal slightly. But it's one of them ones after what we did last round against Dortmund. If we can channel that again, then who's to say what's going to happen? All I can say is just buckle your seatbelts, boys and girls. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, whatever happens. Buckle up. It's going to be an interesting ride. But we've also got Wayne Schumann in the house as well. Wayne, I haven't heard from you in a while. How goes it? And what did you want to jump in terms of the week and weekend's results?
I'm all good, man. All good. Just been busy in the studio working on the new album and that, so I haven't really had much time to do anything else, but been all good. I just wanted to touch in on the Wenger and the protest at Arsenal. Like, I thought it's just been bugging me all weekend what he said about the fans when he come out and said about the climate at the Emirates and everything, and when he said that away from home we're a Premiership winning team, and I thought, is he seeing something else that we're not? Because we lost to Chelsea and they're having the worst season, that they've had in a long time, and we can't even beat them still. We couldn't beat Man United's B team away. We got battered at Southampton. We couldn't win at Anfield because it was exactly the same as last season there. And I just think, how can you say that and then come out and blame the fans and say that the fans shouldn't protest when people have really had enough in now? And I was meant to be going to the Villa game in G-Man, but I just thought, you know what, I'm not even going to pay my money to go and watch them because it's just dire, it's boring. There is no atmosphere there, and I just think, I'm all for the change, whether that be Wenger out or whether it be the board. Something has got to change at that club because it is stale and it's dead, and there's just nothing exciting about Arsenal at the moment, in my eyes.
Do you know what I'm going to say? And what I'm going to say is this: if you want stale and dead, I have one word for you. It's a place. It's a place that's towards the north of the country, quite far north, up in the country, and that one word is Blackpool. If you want stale and dead, then look at that. I just to put it into context, because the whole thing with the Wenger out or the board out thing, it annoys me no end because it's the same old story. But the fact of the matter is, if you want stale and dead, well, Bolton Wanderers were almost that. But my point is, you've got Charlton Athletic and their problems. They've been relegated. Bolton have been relegated, and then you look at Blackpool as well. Is one of them was with their issue. I can understand why they're protesting against the Oyston family. I can totally understand that. But the Arsenal thing is, it's one of them was. It's like it's a bit of, to me, it's very much a hollow argument, especially the way football is so business orientated at the moment on a general basis.
Yeah, but my thing is as well with Wenger, I mean, he's just dug himself a deeper hole, because the way that he's talking is like, he's saying we threw the league away against the smaller clubs this season at home. Yes, we did. But at the same time, it's like, for years at the Emirates, we were battering the small teams and we couldn't beat the big teams. I mean, how many years did we go before we even got a result against United and Man City at the Emirates? So to me, he's just digging himself a deeper hole, and he's not helping himself. I think with a lot of it as well, it would just be nice for someone at Arsenal to come up, whether it's Wenger, whether it's the board, someone's come out and just say, you know, I mean, a lot of Arsenal fans feel, and I feel, that this should have been our season to win the title.
Yeah, but then a lot of teams are saying that. I mean, Tottenham could say that.
Yeah,
if it wasn't for Leicester, Tottenham could have that claim.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, we beat Leicester twice, home and away. We're the only team to beat them twice this season, and that's the point. I saw it at Anfield, and I said this to you when we drew with Liverpool. I said to you, we will not win the league, because if you want to win the league, you don't go to Anfield and you don't be 3-2 up with a minute to go, bring off your striker and bring on a defender and sit back and get the draw. If you want to win the title with a minute to go, you push and you keep it up the other end. That's not a title winning team to me. That's just a team.
But then you know, as much as it hurts me to say, 2 years ago we were doing that. We were attacking and not focusing on defending. Look what happened to us at Crystal Palace. Look what happened to us at home v Chelsea. You see where I'm going with this. If you keep attacking, it's one of them ones where something's gonna a door's gonna be left open at the back, and it's gonna cost you, just as it cost us 2 years ago. So attack. I mean, we've seen it with Newcastle in the past too, where they were electrifying going forward but couldn't defend. They kept leaving gaping holes open. So I mean Tottenham. I think by pure numbers alone, you look at the goal difference. Tottenham have the best attack in the league in terms of goal difference, but they're second. They're second by 5 points right now.
Yeah.
So the proof is in the pudding.
My thing with Wenger is as well, it's like he's saying that we got world-class strikers as well. And that made me laugh, because I'm thinking, where are they? The only decent striker we've got at the moment is Danny Welbeck. Giroud is he's pony. He needs to go. He's had it at Arsenal, and I just feel like that we've got so many deadweight players that, you know, shouldn't even be there. Jack Wilshere, for one, how many seasons he hasn't even had a full season at Arsenal since he's been there. He plays about 3 or 4 games and gets injured for the rest of the year. Theo's the same, and so is Oxlade-Chamberlain now. He seems to be going down that road. And people are saying about, you know, Sanchez and Ozil leave, you know, it'll be awful. Yeah, it will be awful, but I wouldn't blame them. It's not like Van Persie and Fabregas. It's completely different. I would not blame Sanchez and Ozil if they left Arsenal in the summer, because they're not winning trophies. They've come here expecting to win trophies or expecting to do well, and they're seeing what we've seen for the last 12 seasons. People know where I stand on Wenger out. I've been saying for the last 6 years that I've wanted Wenger out of the club when he started selling our best players and not replacing them. I saw the downfall then, and a lot of people did. But my thing is, we know he's not going to go. We know he's going to stay next season. But my point is, if he stays, he has got to change everything. He's got to change the mentality. He's got to change the drive in that team, and he's got to change his tactics, because his tactics is not working anymore. He's got to change. And the board have got to start giving him money to buy the players that we need.
I was just about to say to kind of put a finer point on this, because going into that whole Wenger out territory again, which is something that's been more retreaded than the NWO angle in WCW and WWE, little OWR there. But it's one of them ones where it's easy to blame one person. It's easy. Of course easy to the whole Wenger out thing. To me, it's laughable anyway, because no one really mentions one name that I'm surprised isn't mentioned more often. Kroenke gets mentioned a lot. Exactly, well, he gets mentioned. Well, actually, Stan Kroenke gets mentioned a little bit.
But that's
Arsene Wenger seems to always get blamed for what the board is doing, because basically, I mean, Wenger could be saying, right, we need to sign this, and that. But remember, the board has always got final say. You can see that. But the fact of the matter is, I'm surprised Alisher Usmanov is not mentioned that often. Because the fact of the matter is, he's worth 4 or 5 times what Roman Abramovich is, but he doesn't own your club. But he likes to shoot his mouth off. A year ago, literally just over a year ago, He was coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, Wenger doesn't learn from his mistakes, or we need to change da." And a few weeks ago, he came out and said, "Oh, we need to keep our biggest asset, which is Arsene Wenger." Now, what a lot of people, what the point that I'm going with is this: when you've got that kind of flip flopping at board level, how has a manager got a chance? And as said, we've discussed this before on numerous shows, so we're not really going to go into it. Plus, we've got to move on anyway. But the fact of the matter is, we've talked about it in regards to Chelsea and Roman Abramovich, Leeds and Massimo Cellino. When you've got that kind of fickle nature up top, how the hell has a manager got a chance?
Yeah,
it's a rhetorical question. I'll answer you that. A manager has not got a chance.
I personally think that, I was like that, I was quick on the bandwagon to blame just Arsene Wenger a few years ago. But then when I looked properly, obviously it's not just Wenger's fault. The players have got to take blame for it as well. The fans, to a certain extent, take blame, yes. And people were debating that because the fans, they're split down the middle at the moment. So they got to take responsibility for it. The board in general have, but it didn't help when Kroenke come out and said, Arsenal are not going to compete at the top level and win trophies. It's like, well, hang on a minute, why are you there then? He only wants the money. He don't care about the club, and that's the fans' biggest issue. Kroenke don't care about the club. He don't care about the fans being split down the middle, Wenger in, Wenger out. All he cares about is making money and buying, ranches and things like that. I mean, it came out in the paper, and he even said himself that he spent, what was it, 200 mil on a ranch in America.
But you got to look at it though. As I said, we got to kind of wrap this up and put a final point on it. But as I said, it's a case of the fact of the matter is it's his money. He can do whatever the hell he wants with it. And secondly, of course, football, and secondly, football clubs are businesses, extremely badly run businesses on a general basis, apart from Arsenal, and very few other examples, but they are badly run businesses. So, what I will say is this, because we do need to move on. We do need to move on to an A-League roundup, but it's a case of that's the way the game not only is going. That's the way the game is.
And it's sad. It's sad to see that.
Of course it is, but the fact is that's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's just the way it is. If Wenger's still there next season, which we all know he is going to be, it's just all got to change. He's got to change his philosophy, his mentality, everything. Everything's got to change. The board, and they got to get fans back on side, or it's going to be the same old story next season. Yeah,
but it's one of them ones though. If they're making money, the fans are secondary. Just look at the ticket price argument. More on that on YouTube.com/pitch talk. We had a push point about fans and ticket price.
But all in all, it was a good win. It's 3 points were a must going into City game at the weekend. So can't really. I mean, the football was a bit boring, but the result was all that mattered really, and we needed to win. So
it is one of them ones though. Speaking of results, the second half is underway. 50 minutes gone. Chelsea 0, Tottenham 2. Is still a current score. And you know what? Speaking of results as well, it is one of them ones where it is about that time to say, oh, you didn't know? Ian Kurt's going to tell you about A-League football.
Hello, Pitch Talkers, and thanks again, Liam, for singing for me. Welcome to what is probably the last A-League wrap for the season because, well, the season's over. So, yes, what other wrapping would there be to be done? Let's quickly summarise the last 3 weeks, which have been finals time, of course. In Australia, we have a finals series after the regular season. 3 weeks of finals. The first week is the elimination finals. Brisbane Roar saw off Melbourne Victory in an amazing match. Not amazing, well, I think part of it was boring, but it was Melbourne Victory scored 1-0 lead right at the end, only for Brisbane Roar at the death. Goals. And the other match in the elimination final saw Melbourne City run out 2-0 winners over Perth Glory, which meant that Roar and Melbourne City went through to the next week. Adelaide United faced off against Melbourne City. Adelaide United finished top of the ladder. And Adelaide thumped Melbourne City 4-1. Meanwhile, Western Sydney Wanderers hosted Brisbane Roar, and what a ridiculous match that was. Brisbane Roar went 3-0 up after about 30 minutes and then ended up losing 5-4. Think about that. They were 3-0 up and they lost 5-4, which meant that Western Sydney Wanderers went through to the grand final to face Adelaide United. Adelaide, being the top-ranked team, hosted the final. Very first time that Adelaide had hosted the final. And it was played on the Adelaide Oval, better known as a cricket venue, of course. And Aussie Rules is played there as well. So Adelaide United have played a couple of games there. Not the greatest venue for the round ball code. But they squeezed in 50-something thousand people to watch the match, which isn't too shabby. And what a match it was. Adelaide United basically dominated the first half. Went in the West, pulled back a goal to make it 2-1. It looked like they were on a roll. Looked like Wanderers were going to run all over them. Until United scored a third goal. And that third goal, it was obvious then that it was all over and that Adelaide had won their very first golden toilet seat. So there you go. Adelaide United, they finished top of the table. They won the premiership place, which was awarded to them in rather ridiculous circumstances. Instead of awarding it to the team in front of the crowd and all that, they gave it to them on a Monday when there was no one around. Just gave it to them. Anyway, look, the A-League. Who can make head or tail of it? Adelaide United won the premiership plate then, as I was saying before I interrupted myself, and they've won the toilet seat. Wanderers have now lost 3 grand finals. In the last 4 years, they've made the grand final 3 times. They've lost 3 times. And they've won a couple of premiership plates in the meantime. So Adelaide United, congratulations to them. They're going into the Asian Champions League next year along with probably Wanderers. I can't remember now who goes in there. Anyway, doesn't matter. Other news from Australia. Well, Archie Thompson, who has been a stalwart of Melbourne Victory and, in fact, the Australian national team for many years, has finally retired. He's aged about 82, I think. And Patrick Kisnorbo has announced his retirement as well. So there you go. This is the last Paddy Kisnorbo update, I suppose, from the A-League. He's announced his retirement as well. Rather a long off-season coming up because the season doesn't start until about October later this year. So we'll no doubt see a bit of reworking of those A-League teams. It'll be interesting to see if any big names come into the league. Because it's been a couple of years since we've seen any big names in the league. Remember we had Alessandro Del Piero and we had Shinji Ono and, the other guy as well, Emil Heskey. All coming in the 1 year. It was a massive year for the A-League. And we haven't had the stars lately. But anyway, one other thing is that, of course, the Asian Champions League is still going on. In fact, this week, Sydney FC and Melbourne Victory play the final rounds of the group stages of the Asian Champions League. I think that Sydney FC, from memory, have already qualified for the next stage. Victory, on the other hand, need to basically win on Tuesday night to make it through to the next stage of the Champions League. Victory don't have a great track record in the Champions League. And their squad has already been pulled apart. The team that won the A-League title last year, the team has been pulled apart. They've lost a couple of players to Wellington Phoenix. The central defender Mathieu Delpierre has announced his retirement as well. So plenty to happen in terms of player movement over the off-season. It's a very incestuous little league, though, when it comes to player movements. You don't see a lot of movement from outside the league, from any of the local leagues or from internationally. It's very incestuous. You see the same players going round and round playing for a different club week after season after season. It gets all rather tedious. When you see these guys' CVs not CVs, their list of clubs on their Wikipedia entry, there'll be 5 different A-League clubs in 7 or 8 years. Oh, anyway, I shouldn't complain about that, should I? What now? Well, let me remind you all that you can buy Thin White Line magazine online. It only costs you $5, which for those of you in England is about £2.50. £2.50, and the money goes to a great cause as well. We're raising money for the Support Joey fundraising to help a young bloke get cancer treatment in the USA. It's going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, and your small effort will help get him over there and help hopefully save a life. So go online, thinwhitelinemagazine.com. Issues 1 and 2 are available in a PDF format. You just got to pay £2.50. Like I said, it's practically nothing. What can you get for £2.50 these days, eh? Apart from an issue of Thin White Line magazine. And after you've bought the magazine, make sure that you follow us on Twitter, Tweet White Line. You can like us on Facebook at Thin White Line Magazine, and we're on Instagram as well, where you can see photos of Liam wearing a bikini. That's what? Just search for Thin White Line Magazine or Liam wearing a bikini, and that should find it. And what else? Don't know. Stuff. Anyway, so there you go, Liam. That's the end of the A-League season, and well, I'll let you get back to your round. No doubt we're just waiting to see who's going to be crowned Premier League champions. Will Leicester win it? Liam, back to you in the studio.
It's one of them ones. Big shout outs to Thin White Line Magazine. And you know what? It is one of them ones. 57 minutes gone, and it is back on. It is back on at Stamford Bridge. Yeah, it is one of them ones. Gary Cahill has got one back. Good finish as well. 58 minutes gone. Back on. It looks like it's back on for Chelsea, but it's one of them was 2-1 at the moment. So it's one of them ones. The Leicester boys might be having a party after all. It is one of them ones. Just when you think the league can't throw you up any more swerves, it's throwing you up another one right there. But it's one of them ones. Can Chelsea actually do the comeback that they really should have done for the whole of the season? But anyway, here's one of them ones. But yeah, big shout outs to Thin White Line Magazine at Tweet White Line on Twitter, facebook.com/Thin White Line Magazine, and thinwhitelinemagazine.com. Remember, the proceeds of issues 1 and 2, the digital format, go to a fantastic cause. So well worth a purchase. Definitely well worth a purchase. Get yourself a copy. Here's one of them ones. But you know what? It's one of them ones. Chelsea in the ascendancy. Right, pretty much right on the hour mark. Just on there, and Diego Costa falls over. Look at the guy Chitterfell. Look at the guy Chitterfell. But it is one of them ones where, yeah, it is time. And actually, you know what? Before we move on, Brad Hicks, tell me you're there right now. I know you're biting.
Damn right I am.
I know you're biting your fingernails. Chelsea have got one back. You think they're going to get another one back?
I pray for it.
Are you praying?
Please.
Are you praying to Allah,
God.
Buddha, God?
I've got every blooming pope at the local radio.
Did you just say every pope?
Yeah.
I was going to say the current Archbishop
on.
of Canterbury's one.
It'll be a tight one.
Well, it's one of them. Was an hour gone. And Chelsea in the ascendancy at the moment, so it might happen tonight. And by the way, if someone's just tuning in and doesn't know, Brad Hicks is a Leicester City supporter and has been for a long time. He's not a Johnny-come-lately like some people who have seen stories about switching allegiance from like Man City, Man United to other clubs. It's like, what? Is that what? No, you don't switch allegiance. If you're a child, you can get away with it. If you're an adult, you're a disgrace. But it is one of those where it is time for us to move and groove on. And where we're going to go on to is one of the big stories of the week, which is...
General Talking Points.
Wow, wow. Still Chelsea 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2. That's not what we believe. Yeah, it's one of them ones. Yeah, from the completely absurd part of me singing is a very serious issue that really really always puts football into April 15th every year is really a date that puts football into perspective, and it is one of them. It is one of them ones where this year, the 25th of April, will put will also has put football into really sharp perspective. But we're gonna go forward and then come back. 29th of April 2016, Everton's matchday program cover for Saturday's home game against Bournemouth had a special Hillsborough memorial theme. It also includes the message Everton Football Club salutes the Hillsborough families and their total vindication as fighters for justice. Is one of them was theirs is the greatest victory in the history of football. Rest in peace to 96. It also had a quote from Bill Kenwright's speech at Anfield on April 15th, 2013, when the Blues chairman declared they took on the wrong city, they took on the wrong mums. The cover features the illustration of two young fans in Everton and Liverpool kids holding hands and wearing the shirt numbers 9 and 6 before the game against Newcastle United in September 2012, the first match after the Hillsborough Independent Panel's findings were announced. That evening, Everton played the Hollies track, He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother, in solidarity with the Reds, and the club have since erected a permanent Hillsborough memorial at Goodison Park, which includes a depiction of the two youngsters. The plaque on the park end stand was unveiled by Hillsborough Family Support Group chairwoman Margaret Aspinall in February 2015, who called it a lovely gesture. Now, coming slightly back to April 25th, 2016. Jurors have reached a majority decision on whether the 96 victims of the Hillsborough disaster were unlawfully killed. The jury of 6 women and 3 men had been deliberating since April 6th after hearing evidence for 2 years. The four women said at least 7 of the 9 jurors had reached an agreement on the unlawful killing in question in a 14-section questionnaire. At the time, their conclusions were to be formally returned a couple of days later, but jurors had already reached the unanimous conclusion for 13 of the questions. The remaining question, for which they were given a majority direction, asked whether the 96 were unlawfully killed. To answer yes, the juries must be sure that that Superintendent David Duckenfield, who was in overall command of the police operation, was responsible for the manslaughter by gross negligence of those who died. 96 fans died as a result of a crush on the terraces occupied by Liverpool supporters attending the FA Cup semi-final against Nottingham Forest on April 15th, 1989. Jurors had already made their decision about whether fans' behaviour added to a dangerous situation outside the stadium in Sheffield. They had also made conclusions about whether police errors or omissions caused or contributed to the dangerous situation at the match and the crush on the terraces. Based on the evidence, the jury had also decided if police and ambulance service responses to the crushing contributed to the loss of lives. Coroner Sir John Goldring said on Monday he would accept a majority decision at hearing in Warrington, Cheshire. He began his summing up on 25th of January and spoke to the jury for 26 days in total. The hearings are the longest running inquest in British legal history. The 4 steps to unlawful killing conclusion. The coroner laid out 4 steps jurors must consider when answering question 6. Only if they are sure of each can they conclude the 96 were unlawfully killed. They were, firstly, that Chief Superintendent David Duckenfield owed a duty of care to 96 who died. Secondly, that he was in breach of that duty of care. Thirdly, that the breach of Mr. Duckenfield's duty of care caused the deaths. And finally, the jury must be sure the breach which caused the deaths amounted to gross negligence. For the final point to be proved, the jury has to be sure the match commander's breach in his duty of care was so bad it amounted to a criminal act or omission. It must also be sure a reasonably competent and careful match commander in his position would have foreseen a serious and obvious risk of death to the supporters. Now, adding more to this, on the 26th of April 2016, fans unlawfully killed. Jury concludes 96 football fans who died as a result of a crash in the 1989 Hillsborough disaster were unlawfully killed. The inquest had concluded. The jury found match commander Chief Superintendent David Duckenfield was responsible for manslaughter by gross negligence due to a breach of his duty of care. Police errors also added to a dangerous situation at the FA Cup semi-final. The Prime Minister said the inquest had proved official confirmation fans were utterly blameless. After a 27-year campaign, just let that sink in. After a 27-year campaign by victims' families, the behaviour of Liverpool fans was exonerated. The jury found they did not contribute to the danger unfolding at the turnstiles at the Leppings Lane end of Sheffield Wednesday's ground on the 15th of April 1989. 9 jurors reached unanimous decisions on all but one of the 14 questions at the inquest into Britain's worst sporting disaster. The coroner, St John Goldring, said he would accept a majority decision about whether the fans were unlawfully killed. 7 jurors agreed they were, so 7 out of the 9. When the conclusion of the unlawful killing was revealed, families were seen hugging each other in the public gallery and some punched the air. When considering how each of the 96 victims died, the jury concluded many died well after the 15:15, 3:15, on the day of the match. The coroner at the original inquest in 1991, Dr. Stephen Popper, said he would not hear any evidence relating to deaths beyond that time because he believed all the victims had died or suffered fatal injuries by them. The deaths were ruled accidental and those verdicts were quashed following the 2012 Hillsborough Independent Panel report and new hearings were ordered. The inquest found the direct medical cause of death was compression asphyxia in all but 3 of the victims. The earliest time of death was estimated from 1457 and the last up to 1700 hours, which is 5 o'clock p.m. Tony Bland, the 96th victim, died in 1993 after being left brain damage due to or as a consequence of compression asphyxia. The jury also concluded police errors caused a dangerous situation at the turnstiles. Failures by commanding officers caused a crush on the terraces. There were mistakes in the police control box over the order to open the Leppings Lane and exit gates. Defects at the stadium, including calculations over crowd capacity, contributed to the disaster. There was an error in the safety certification of Hillsborough Stadium. South Yorkshire Police, SYP, and South Yorkshire Ambulance Service, SYAS, delayed declaring a major incident. The emergency response was therefore delayed. Sheffield Wednesday failed to approve the plans for dedicated turnstiles for each pen. There was inadequate signage at the club and misleading information on match tickets, and club officials should have requested a delay in kickoff as they were aware of a huge number of fans outside shortly before the game was due to start. Now, leading campaigners Margaret Aspinall and Trevor Hicks were seen hugging each other in tears when the verdict was announced, and the spontaneous chorus of "You'll Never Walk Alone" was sung outside the courtroom as people raised Liverpool flags above their heads. Miss Aspinall, whose 18-year-old son James died in the disaster, said, "I think we have changed a part of history now. I think that's the legacy the 96 have left." Barry Devonside, father of Christopher Devonside, who died at age 18, said, "I never thought in my wildest dreams we would get this decision. We did our best. We couldn't do any more." A statement on behalf of all the families said the jury's conclusions completely vindicate the long fight for justice. It added it has brought significant progress on the journey and sense of closure to the bereaved. it is one of them ones. But you know what? Yorkshire Ambulance Service NHS Trust Chief Executive Rod Barnes said it fully accepted the jury's conclusions that mistakes were made, adding it was truly sorry. The police response to the increase in crowd outside Leppings Lane turnstiles at Liverpool's match against Nottingham Forest was slow and uncoordinated. The inquest in Warrington, Cheshire heard the road closure exacerbated the situation, and there were no filter cordons in place to regulate movement of spectators. So it is one of them ones where absolutely mad. But you know what? Yeah. You know what? Continuing on the 26th of April as well, criminal charges over Hillsborough disaster could still be a year away. Investigators have said 2 criminal investigations into the disaster, which happened on April 15th, 1989, have been ongoing, while the inquest into 96 deaths have been underway. Operation Resolve, which is examining the preparation for the FA Cup semi-final and the events on the day, and the IPCC, Independent Police Complaints Commission investigation, which is focused on police actions in the aftermath of the disaster, were both set up after the publication of the Hillsborough Independent Panel report in 2012. The investigations are not expected to finish until the end of the year, though. Once the inquiries are complete, files will be passed down to the Crown Prosecution Service, CPS, which could take between 3 and 6 months to make a decision on charges. Operation Resolve is investigating offences of gross negligence, manslaughter, misconduct in a public office, perverting the course of justice, and breaches of the Health and Safety at Work Act and Safety at Sports Grounds Act as well. The IPCC is focusing on offences of conspiracy to pervert the course of justice, perverting the course of justice, perjury, and misconduct in public office. With Deputy Chair of the IPCC, Rachel Serfontaine, said to Liverpool Echo, now the inquests have come to an end. That's an end of a very important part of the process, but it is only part of the process. For the IPCC, the end of the inquest is neither a beginning nor an end for us. Actually, in parallel to the inquest, while they've been going on, we've been conducting our criminal investigation. Both teams have been working to support the inquest at the same time as conducting their criminal investigations. So it is one of them ones. Assistant Commissioner John Stoddart, the officer in overall control of Operation Resolve, said while the inquests have been ongoing, my team has been providing all the necessary statements and report the coroner requires for the successful conclusions of the inquest, as well as the 26,000 documents released by the Hillsborough Independent Panel. The investigations have uncovered 70,000 more. Mr. Stoddart said, I would think it's probably the biggest inquiry of its type in English investigative history. It has been a vast undertaking, and I know it's been a long time coming to the conclusion, but we've been working at the pace of the coroner's demands. People will be saying, why on earth has it taken so long? Obviously, the pace of the coroner's inquest determined where we are now, but even if it finished a year ago, it would still take about 9 months to finish the entire criminal inquiry, because there was so much to do in relation to what has been heard. So, also very important as well, they are actually not bound by any decision the jury come back with in regards to it as well. But it is one of them ones where huge news, man. I mean, Jazzy Fizzle, do you want to jump in? Do you want to jump in on this first?
Well, I'll keep my view short and sweet on this, and I'll say that, sometimes some things are worth fighting for. Sometimes they take a long time, but you get the result in the end. And I think justice has been done in many ways, in the sense of part of this is now resolved. Now, the reason why I say part of this is because there is much more to be done in terms of being able to provide some element of closure about this. This goes a long way. An awful long way. And I share a sense of relief for the families and everyone affected by the tragedy, that even though it's taken this long, we're finally at this point.
Sorry, Jazzy, did you want to continue?
No, that's it. I'm done.
No, cool. No, go. If any, I mean, do any of the Skypers want to jump in as well? Because I know it's been a big. It has been the big story of the week. Definitely has been the big story of the week. Where it's like the fact. I mean, if any of the Skypers want to jump in, just let us know. But the fact of the matter is, a 27-year fight for justice. And that's what it is. That's what this boils down to. There's a lot of things that there's a lot of things in this that just really in this whole thing that just disappointed me so much. Number one, a certain newspaper still the day after these the results of this inquest came out, still haven't put a front page apology, which is an absolute disgrace. Literally the day it happened, the day after, I was like, I literally walked past at work. I walked past the newspapers. Most of the other newspapers were focused on it, and it was like, cool, this is the truth. These were the lies told. And one certain source, piece of crap that it is, that I wouldn't even wipe my backside with, still wants to have Rita Ora on their front page and a bunch of crap that no one gives a damn about. But anyway, leaving that aside, fact of the matter is, there's a lot of things that are a source of consternation in this. The fact that South Yorkshire Police failed so miserably in keeping people safe, and that's what I want to focus on. I mean, the Chief Superintendent David Duckenfield, absolute disgrace. I mean, you got to bear in mind that the police in this sort of situation have a duty of care, and the only thing that they and it seemed like with this whole thing, the only duty that they had was to try and pervert the course of justice and lie just to cover up their own tracks, which is not only an embarrassment, but it's a disgrace and reflects horribly, literally on everyone involved. South Yorkshire Police, the ambulance, the South Yorkshire Ambulance Service as well. It reflects horribly on them, and the fact that it's what for me, it's one of the biggest examples of parasitic media brainwashing in recent memory. The Hillsborough disaster. The way they vilified and just literally and figuratively threw them under the bus for something that was not their fault at all. And the fact it just shows, the results of these inquests just show how deep lies can go and how deep things can go in terms of good old boy networks. And once you get a lie going with those good old boy networks covering each other's backs, it is utterly astounding. It is astounding, disappointing, infuriating in equal measure. It just beggars belief. And you know what? It is one of them ones where, for the families, you would hope that this is some semblance of beginning to get some closure for them. This is one of many chapters that really needed closing for the sake of the families of the 96, especially Margaret Aspinall, who has been so pivotal in campaigning with the Hillsborough Justice campaign. Has been so pivotal in getting this brought to the courts and getting these inquests seen through. I mean, at least it's one of them. At least it's one of them was justice is coming. And even though criminal charges might be up to a year away, and some involved might be some of these people involved might already have passed away, but the fact of the matter is, put in my humble opinion, You can't put a time limit on justice. If it takes a year, if it takes 10 years, or in this case, if it takes 27, it needs to come. It needs to come because it needs to be shown that you cannot get away with perjury, perverting the course of justice, and literally blaming people for something that was not their fault and utterly vilify them. I mean, that's yeah. I mean that's where I stand. Like, you can't. Yeah. I mean, Jaymie Bailey, you want to jump him? Jaymie, you there? JBK.
Yeah, so I'm quite glad of what's happened. It's taken way too long. I was working with, I had a player from Liverpool come out in my team, my amateur team, and he's got family that was there as well. So it was one of those things where it needed to be done. I'm glad that they stuck at it for however long it was, because some people would probably give up. The Sun, I don't even know why the Sun have even. We shouldn't really mention about the Sun anymore. They've already lost one newspaper, the News of the World. It's likely that they're probably going to lose their own. They'll lose another one.
Well, what I was saying earlier
overall,
about good old boy networks, yeah, don't be surprised.
Yeah, I know. My issue with everything over the last 27 years. Obviously, it happened when I was born. I don't know much about it because I'm not a Liverpool fan. But finding out about it, then they had a program or some sort of I don't know what it was, but there was a program on it last night, and I found that to be a bit disrespectful that the ITV wanted to put that on. Overall, it's justice that's been served, and it's taken too long to get it, and the wrong people. It's just taken too long just to get the right decision, and I think it's justified, but it's taken too long just to get the justification that was needed. So well done, but I think that's pretty much part and parcel of what the justice system in this country is all about.
I mean, it is one of them ones where it's just, it's sad to see. It really is. And I don't know. I mean, yeah. On a slight side note, actually, bringing it back to football, it's Chelsea 2, Tottenham 2. Which, if it stays like this, Leicester win the title tonight. Just want to throw that in there. But Wayne Schumann, you wanted to jump in. You wanted to jump in as well.
Yeah, I think I saw the documentary that Jaymie was on about, and when I was watching that the other night, I just thought, you know, the things that when they were breaking certain things down, and it was saying like, you know, the copper at the gate could have opened the gate and let all the fans out, and you know, I remember my dad saying, because my dad used to go and watch, obviously my dad being a Tottenham fan, he used to go and watch him play when he was a kid, and he was saying he went to Hillsborough 2 weeks before that to watch Tottenham play, and pretty much exactly the same sort of thing happened. They didn't realise how many Spurs fans were going up there. So many of them got pushed out, and my dad in the end had to sit in the car and listen to it on the radio while all of his friends got left in the stadium. So to me, I think I speak on behalf of every football fan when, you know, justice has got to be served for it, because no one should ever go to a football match and not come home. That should never happen in football. But I mean, also read. I mean, you know, the Liverpool thing as well. It weren't just that. It's, you know, the Valley Parade fire as well at Bradford. You know, it's things like that that happened over the years, and I just think a lot of them just try and cover each other. You know, they try and save their own skin rather than tell the truth, and I think that's what a lot of them have been doing all these years. And now finally the truth is coming out.
I mean, that's the thing. It is one of them ones. The truth. This is the thing. This is not rumor. This is not supposition. It's the truth, and it's taken so long to come out, but at least it finally has. And there were a lot of people out there who actually didn't believe it, who actually believed the parasitic media lies that were perpetuated, and without even looking into stuff. And it's like this is one thing that does annoy me about a lot of people, that because certain sources say it, they take it as gospel. And it's like, and it's one of them ones, and it is legitimately just embarrassing. It's about as embarrassing as bloody Chelsea Tottenham degenerating into handbags again. Looks like Costa's trying to wind up Walker. And it's like, okay, Walker's already been booked, remember, in the first half. And it's just getting so stupid. And Eric Dyer's just been booking it. It's getting really stupid. But it's like, oh, Dave Aspilicueta's getting involved. But anyway, it's one of them ones where it's like, it's just sad that it's taken that long for it to happen in terms of justice. It really is. It really is sad. But I said at least it's on its way. And at least it's on its way. At least it's that, but it is one of them. But I mean, I really can't say too much more about it, to be honest. I mean, it's just like, right, it's on its way, and there we are. But you know what? It is one of them ones where we'd like to say a big thank you to the Skypers for their views so far. We are just going to go for a quick little pause for the cause, and we shall be back in a couple minutes. People, see you in a bit. The football talk show that holds back nothing on opinions. Straight shooting LJA.
Hi, I'm John Sitton.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
G-Man.
Samira Sawhney, Motivate Sports and Fitness.
Christian Carambeu.
Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan.
We the people, for the people. Jazzy Fizzle.
Your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Each and every Monday night of your lives.
At youtube.com/pitch talk.
For podcast links and information, check out our official website, www.pitch-talk.com. Your Monday night football fix, Pitch Talk, is brought to you by and in association with
Talking Pie, a local podcast made by the fans for the fans of Notts County FC, hosted by Adam and Thomas Hewitt.
Simply exclusive entertainment. If you need go to sxemedia.com for more information.
Apparently Rich, simple yet effective web solutions to help get your company off the ground. Visit apparentlyrich.com for more information. And LJA Productions, the new blood in digital video. If you need a video filmed and or edited, check out ljaproductions.co.uk. LJA Productions, the new blood in digital video, offering video production services such as video editing, video and audio of interviews, promos, live events, and much more. Get in touch at www.ljaproductions.co.uk or twitter.com/LJA Productions, and let the digital video promote you. This talk is brought to you by and in association with
the one-stop shop for all your coaching needs, Motivate Sports and Fitness. Check out motivatesportsandfitness.com for more information.
The new football culture magazine, Thin White Line. Check out thinwhitelinemagazine.com for more information.
Storm FM with new hot releases played daily. Feel the boom at stormfm.net.
Two girls with their bunny Scotty trying to cover as much women's football as they can. Girls on the Ball. Check out girlsontheball.com for more information.
Hello, I'm Rob Russ.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Christian Carambeu.
Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan.
Dave McLaughlin.
I'm Rob Lusher.
Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
Former chairman of Ibis FC.
Chairman of Alexandra Park FC.
And you're listening to
Pitch Talk.
The only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Make sure you join the revolution, the football revolution.
Pitch Talk special feature.
Yeah, back on the other side, and someone's writing something stupid on a dish rag again. Someone from Chelsea. Anyway, leaving that side, talking about Ranieri and finally winning a league. Anyway, leaving that one aside, trying to jump on the bandwagon. It's actually quite sad, to be honest. But yeah, it is one of them ones where it's still Chelsea 2, Tottenham 2, still a couple more minutes to play in that. But yeah, Leicester City a couple minutes away from being champions, and they're not even playing. Well, it is tremendous. I don't know. It's one of them ones where it's been one of those really, really odd seasons, to be perfectly frank. I mean, it's like the countdown for New Year. It kind of busy ways. 10, 9, 8. So it's like the countdown to the Royal Rumble entries. It's one of them was, you know what? Yeah, considering this game's gonna end in a couple of minutes, Jazzy Fizzle. I want your view. If you want your view first, we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to our special feature in a second, but just wanna, Jazzy, are you back? You back with us? Because I'm hoping he is. And it's getting silly once again with Chelsea and Tottenham getting silly once again. But yeah, it is one of them ones. Might as well ask it now. Actually, might as well ask this question. Might as well ask this question now. What does Leicester City winning the Premier League mean for the Premier League? What does it mean in the grand scheme of things? And I want to throw that question out. Wayne Schumann, have at it first. And if anyone else wants to jump in.
I think it's absolutely brilliant for Leicester winning the league, and I think it's gonna, obviously the big clubs looking at this they're gonna be buying next season. I think United will go out and spend money. Liverpool, Klopp will bring in his own players. Chelsea probably will spend money, but I think for I wouldn't say. You can't really class Leicester as a small club anymore, can you? I mean, but for sort of the lower clubs, like West Ham and that have been up there this season, I think it's great for English, for English football and for the Premier League. Seeing clubs like that struggled at the bottom end of the season last year, and all of a sudden they didn't spend hardly any money. It just, for me, it brings the passion and the pride back into football when you see teams like that come up and be crowned champions. And as I said, they've beaten a lot of the big sides this season. I just wish Arsenal would take a leap out of Leicester's book.
Do you know what? Yeah, Ryan Sonley, you wanted to jump in as well.
Yeah, I think this is a big occasion for the small teams that they can prove that they can actually win the league. I mean, Leicester have spent nothing this season, and they've won the league. So, what more can you get? I mean, it's going to prove to like the teams like the Burnleys, the Middlesbroughs, the Brightons, that if they get in the Premiership, that they could win the league.
It is one of them kind of anything's possible kind of stories, which is what football should be all about, really. Which is what it should be all about. I mean, Russ Vernon, what do you think is going to mean in the grand scheme of things in the Premier League?
I think he'll prove that he's not always the likes of Chelsea, Man United, Man City, Arsenal. Them sort of clubs can win the league, because Leicester, the beginning of the season, were 5,000 to 1 to win the league. They've gone and done it now. Fantastic achievement for them. Very well done to you, Brad. I bet you're buzzing right now, mate. And I must say, this is a fantastic achievement for Leicester. I'm just seeing the reaction in Leicester right now, and I know Jamie Vardy has got all the entire Leicester City team around his house right now. Claudio Ranieri was up at Stamford Bridge in time to watch this. He didn't get there. He got to East Midlands, so he went and joined Vardy and the Leicester boys there as well. So the Vardy household will be a massive part of there tonight. Massive party in the city of Leicester. Massive party in Brad's house as well. Congratulations, mate. This has been a remarkable season, and one that Leicester thoroughly deserve. Yesterday, the Old Trafford, they played as champions, and tonight they are champions. Partly the King Power on Saturday, which I know Brad will be there to enjoy. So I just want to say, on behalf of everyone here at Pitch Talk, congratulations, Leicester City, on winning the Barclays Premier League 2015-2016 season. What a fantastic season. Let's hope for more of the same next year, where another small club will win the title instead of a big name team once again.
Well, we know Leeds ain't coming up next year, so it's all good. Cobble Allen was track one. But you know, it's been mental. It's been mad. I mean, Jaymie Bailey, you want to jump in as well?
Yeah, I think it brings back hope for football, not as a business, but as a sport. Look at Morris. How much did it cost? 400,000.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I look at Jamie Vardy. It come from non-league all the way up to the Premier League, second season, and he's already winning the Premier League. I look at Claudio Ranieri. He was told he will never win the league with a club in the Premier League. Hi, Roman. We're about to take a title. How does that feel? I look at for us. There's another thing about it as well in terms of the coaching, and people say to allow players to kind of be free on the pitch. None of those players have an ego problem if you look at it, because they're not. None of them are above what? None of them are above 5 million. So their ego will probably be crushed by the fact that Leicester will probably find another player easily. And they had, if you remember, they had Cambiasso last season, so that was their biggest name, and he was dropped. All of a sudden, they put one of the top team. They're pretty much the top team in England now. I don't think there is. I disagree with Wayne. I don't think they're a big team. I don't think they're a mediocre team. I still think they're one of those teams, because if I look back at history, some teams have gone on to win it again. I just think they're going to be another. I'm hoping that they don't turn into either Blackburn or Kaiserslautern, where they've gone on to win it, but then not done anything after that. It'll be interesting to see Barcelona or PSG PSG go to the Hillsborough Street. Or the Power Stadium, whichever one you want to call it.
Well, this one said Filbert Street. This was going back like 15 years. Come up with Filbert Street. Oh my God. Matt Elliott has not played for Leicester City in a long time. Same with Robbie Savage and Casey Keller.
I remember where Heskey started his football, yeah?
We're going to go Muzzy, is it? I thought you're going to go Muzzy, is it?
Oh, yeah. No. It was Mustafa, is it? No, remember that. It wasn't even Muzzy anymore. It was Mustafa. And he went on to play for Turkey.
That's true.
And just looking at it overall, I see it as a very good opportunity for coaching as well. Yes, sometimes you can have certain players that don't cost that much, but you look at how much most of the top players cost. They cost what, in excess of 30 to 60 million, possibly even more. I look at that and say there's going to be a big, massive ego on that, and you've got to try and work around that. Claudio Ranieri doesn't have a player that's more than probably 5 million on his books. He hasn't really got an ego just himself, so all he had to do was just make sure that they were playing every single week. And if you look at it, he kept the same team with the only suggestion of a red card here and there. It didn't really change anything. Just put in the right team for the right season. Now all of a sudden, it's just the way that Chelsea won it. It's just the way that Manchester City won it. You keep the same 11 on the pitch, they'll know how to play alongside each other. If you keep them happy off the pitch, they'll know what to do. And I'm pretty sure not many of them have gone out and partied. And if they have partied, then they haven't partied for that long, because they knew that they had to work hard just to stay at the top. So all this, Jack Wilshere getting in trouble and players not being happy at Manchester United, or having a conversation between each other, just a dressing room conversation about the manager, it doesn't work. It just brings more problems. It's the same thing that happens. It's just stupid. I don't think Leicester would have won it if there were problems. If teams like Chelsea didn't have their problems. If teams like Manchester United weren't cursing and fussing about how they were playing. If teams still weren't out or March. It's just little things like that I think there's nothing that really the clubs really need to take from the big clubs, so-called big clubs need to take from Leicester. I just think, okay, well, if you're going to have a set of 11, it's not the case that you've got to keep them happy. It's making sure that they know they're going to be playing every Saturday. If it's the same Saturday team as it was on Tuesday, as it might be on a Thursday or Wednesday, and no, there's no two ways. Yes, Leicester went out of the FA Cup early. Yes, they went out of the Capital World Cup early, but it didn't really falter their plans. Yes, you can't play in every game. And the only other thing I'll say now is, what do they do next? Still think they'll be a top 7 team, maybe next season. I still think they will have a massive challenge on their hands to keep some of those players happy, because they're all going to want a bigger contract. And even if they do have a bigger contract, then one of the top Spanish clubs are going to come in and try and take them. I think overall, this is a good sign of what sport really means. This is what any club can do if they put their mind to it. You could have even had West Ham winning it on the whilst they're going to the Olympic Stadium. Anybody. So, well done to Leicester. Well done, Brad. Well done to all the teams that kind of helped on the way, and that includes us.
No, it's one of them was just seen that I just seen Jesse back as well. But I just want to read out something from Big T as well. Big T said he's just texted in saying congratulations to Leicester City on winning the Barclays Premier League, well deserved and played brilliantly throughout the course of the season. Claudio Ranieri has to be manager of the season, surely, from the East Midlands. Big T. spot on. He's legitimately spot on. If Ranieri doesn't get manager of the season, that would be an absolute travesty. And half that Leicester team deserve to be in the team of the season easily as well. So it is amazing. I mean, it's moments like that, and seeing moments like this, and seasons like this, that you just see this and you think to yourself, see, this is what football can be when the sport is not just played on a level playing field, but when you've got a team that comes together and really wants to do something. It's like football's obviously going towards the business. It's obviously been going towards the business side and all that kind of thing. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of people seem to think, oh yeah, you've got to shed loads of money. It's not just about spending money; it's about spending it the right way. That's what's important. If you get a team, you can't get a team mentality going with a bunch of people who don't want to play, who don't want to play for a side, because it's not going to bloody work. Just look at Chelsea. Ironically enough, Chelsea for the second time in 3 years getting relegated just to play in spoiler, and some of their fans seem very happy with that, which is just weird. It just shows to me inconsistency. Clear inconsistency, and especially inconsistency when it comes to who's running the club. It's one of them, because Chelsea have never established a period of dominance. The question is now for Leicester, next season they're gonna have the Champions League, and also it's a case of, can they establish a period of dominance? I mean, I would look at it as, if they add to the squad they've got and keep that team spirit there, there's no reason why they can't at least be challenging again next year. I mean, I don't think they're going to fall off as badly as Chelsea did this season. But next season, the competition is going to be even more fierce, because now Leicester are the team to beat. So rather than being the underdogs, they're going to be the team to beat. And that's going to change the game. I think that's one of them ones where it's very much going to change the game for them in terms of mentality, the players they can attract. It's going to go from, it's a little easier when you're the underdog and no one expects anything from you. Just ask Goose Hiddink. It's a lot easier to come in and do a salvage job when there's no expectations. But then when those expectations change, then you'll see, okay, this maybe isn't as easy as I thought it was. So it's one of them ones. In terms of the grand scheme of things, I personally think it's brilliant for the Premier League. The fact of the matter is, it's a new team's name on the trophy, and it's not a usual team that you would expect, but it's a team that's deserving. It's not one of these teams who have just literally bought their way to the top like certain other teams. So, I mean, Leicester City, the way they are now, I don't think it'd be one of them ones where there'll be like a Blackburn Rovers, where it'd be like one season winning the league, 2 seasons later they've been relegated. I don't think Leicester will go that way. In my opinion, I think they'll be challenging next season, because it's one of them ones. Once you get that hunger for something, you want it again and again and again, and it will drive you. It'll either drive you or destroy you, but 9 times out of 10, it will drive you. I mean, Jazzy Fizzle, would you reckon? Jazzy, tell me, where's he gone?
I'm still here.
There we go.
Like I'm whacking Phoenix, but the point is,
who?
The point is, it's a difficult one to really go and comment on per se, right? Putting aside my allegiances, I've loved everything about this season. I have. I think it's been a fairy tale in many ways, right? But at the same time, bringing my allegiances back into it, I've hated it. I've absolutely hated it. It's tough.
And that's all he's got to say about that. Don't tell me that's all you've got to say about it.
Well, I mean, like, I could go on, but that's the main crux of my point.
Yeah. But would you reckon though? Do you reckon it's one of them ones? What's next for Leicester after this? Will they be competing next season? Go out on a limb, man. I want some predictions from you.
I would like to think so. But it's going to be really difficult because what will happen is there's going to be the inevitable cherry picking, right? So some of their best players, not all of them, some of their best players will leave, right? And the reason why they'll leave is not because of the money. It's about the opportunity to represent certain clubs, right? So, for example, you know, I know that we don't necessarily deal in rumor or, you know, the position, but I was just reading a story about N'Golo Kante, and they're talking about how Paris Saint-Germain are potentially interested in him playing for them.
Yeah, the Mahrez Barcelona rumors as well.
Right? So I'm saying to you, if those clubs come knocking now, and I'm just looking at it purely from the aspect of opportunity, right? So the past couple of seasons, and I have to include last season into this, the players have been playing well enough to attract that kind of attention, right? And have been a part of a team that's been able to attract that kind of attention. Same with Kasper Schmeichel, right? Apparently he's linked to Barcelona as well, right? When will that kind of link happen for them again? Right? So if they do go, it's either you go now and you make the most of it, or you stay and you wonder what if. And it's not about them being ungrateful or anything else like that. It's not that. We're talking about opportunity, you know, to change quality of life, to change your life full stop. Right? They take those moves. They're going to get paid more money. They're going to have more exposure. They're going to play, arguably, with better players week in, week out. They're going to become better players because of it. And with some of the people that they may end up rubbing elbows with, they may even become better people. Or worse people, depending. I don't know. Right? So with that, if certain players get cherry-picked, so for example, you take Kasper Schmeichel, you take N'Golo Kante, and you take a Riyad Mahrez, right? You've pretty much taken out the spine of the team. Just with those three players, right? The question is, how do you go and replace those three players now? Are Leicester equally as an attractive proposition to players wanting to move to the Premier League now that those players have moved on in this hypothetical scenario? How do they cope with Europe? Right? Because Europe is a whole different ballgame. And you have to say that one of the advantages that they had versus everybody else who we say should have been thereabouts, right? They didn't have to factor in Europe. Right? You add in Europe, there's a couple of extra games minimum at least, right? And you say, hang on, how's that going to work out? You know, you're going to have to expand the squad. There's going to have to be more rotation. The Tinkerman may have to return. You know, and you wonder as to how it's going to take its toll. Not just on the players, but the manager and the club and the fans as well, because it's a totally different ballgame, right? And then you say, what happens to the expectations? Is this the new expectation now? That Leicester is supposed to be thereabouts every season? Or is it a one-off that you just enjoy for what it is? So when you go and factor all those things, you have to say to yourself, I don't know. Plus, there's that whole thing with second season syndrome, right? In many ways, winning it is a lot easier than it is retaining it.
Well, so and then was this? What was that? What was that? I'm gonna. Of course, I'm gonna go for an OWR, but I don't know if you remember back in 2000. It was on the it was on the post. It was on the post-show interviews when Edge and Christian won that triangle ladder match. they said, and it's a quote that's always stuck with me. It's one of the quotes that has always stuck with me. And they were like, you know what? It's a lot easier to get to the top. Sorry, it's a lot harder to stay on top than it is to get there. Do you think that's going to end up the case for Leicester?
It's the case for every team. You know, it's not just about Leicester. It's the case for every team. And the teams that end up pulling it off, you have to go and say there's something special there. You know, in the sense of they have a manager and a certain core group of players that will continue to drive them. You know, if I want to go and briefly look over at American football, for example, you look at what's happened with New England, with Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, and the New England Patriots. You know, one of the things that helps them is there's a core group of players there that have been more or less consistent throughout. I'm looking at Tom Brady specifically, to be fair, and the coach that isn't satisfied. You know, to flip it the other way, bring it back to football, I says, let's look at Manchester United under Sir Alex Ferguson. Same thing. Right? Now, I'm not saying that Leicester lack that or don't have that or anything else, but it really is a special thing. That's why it does not happen frequently for everybody. There are just certain groups of people where, you know, the time is right, the sun, the moon, and the stars, they all align, and everything goes from there. You know, but as you kind of pointed out with the Edge and Christian quote, I'll put it a different way. You know, there's a lot of people trying to get to the top, but there's only a few people that stay there, and it's generally because there's not a lot of room.
Well, it's one. That was another OWR. I'm going to paraphrase Steve Austin. In the build-up to WrestleMania 17 in 2001. There could be only one champion. It's one of them ones. So
I thought that was an advert for Highlander for a minute.
Well, no, the original quote was what's it? Austin said to Rock, there can be only one Pro Wrestling Federation champion. That was the original quote, just for the sake of the Harvard system, right there.
No, it's fine. I mean, I just remember, you know, the whole selling point for Highlander. Their whole tagline was, there could be only one Highlander. You know, it's a really interesting program for those who watched it. But yeah, anyway, I think second season syndrome will more than likely kick in. It'll be interesting to see who stays, who goes. You know, and the other thing that we're not talking about, because we're just being Leicester centric in the focus, is what everybody else does. Right? So everybody else is forced to look at themselves in terms of the teams that should be there, thereabouts. So Tottenham are going to have to retool if they're serious about really pushing on. And I think there was a claim that said they wanted to be champions by the time they moved to their new stadium. Right? So if that's to happen, then they're going to have to retool. Right? Arsenal are going to have to look at themselves. And all of this talk about Wenger out and Wenger being the one to play with everything else, you know, I find it absolutely hilarious. I really do. If Arsenal fans want to go back to that 9-year stretch, believe you me, you're welcome to it. You are, and I will enjoy it much more than you believe. Right? Just because you're bringing it on yourselves. Right? You go, you win trophies back to back, and you're like, no, this isn't good enough. Hang on a minute. There was a time when you didn't win anything. For a long time. Then 2 buses show up at once, and you're like, we don't even know what to do. So we're not even going to get on any of them. Right? Yes, the players have to look at it. Yes, Arsene Wenger's going to have to look at it in terms of players and everything else. But a trophy is still a trophy. Right? And when you don't have any, getting one, it's a big deal. Right? Let me put this in a different way for all the guys that are listening to this, and even some of the ladies. Right? I'll put it this way.
Oh Lord,
right?
Where's this?
No. I'm going there. So imagine you by yourself for an extended period of time. Let's say about 8-9 years.
Oh God, where is this going?
Yeah, you by yourself for 8-9 years, and then all of a sudden, this absolutely amazing, wonderful, significant other pops up out of nowhere and says, "Hey, you know what? Actually, you seem kind of all right. I wouldn't mind sticking around for a while." Yeah. So then they show up, and because you're so used to being by yourself, you're kind of like, oh no, it's all right, I'll pass. What? Did you happen to enjoy those 9 years with you by yourself?
There are so many different ways that my mind is going right now with what you just said. A lot of them I can't mention on it.
So, but I'm gonna put it that way to make it relatable for everybody else. And I'm putting it like this, right?
Relatable.
The learning will happen afterwards, right? So after you've said bye to this significant other, you'll sit down and you'll say, actually, that really was an opportunity. That really was one of the best things to happen in 9 years, and I didn't actually appreciate it while it happened. One of the reasons why Leicester fans are so happy right now is because they never imagined it in their wildest dreams. Wildest dreams did not imagine that this league season would have played out the way that it is. So they're enjoying every single moment of it while it lasts. Right? Whereas Arsenal fans are like, well, we expect to win the league. What? Have we not had it proven time and time again that this is one of the most difficult leagues in the world to win, much less retain? Anyway, so yeah, Arsenal will retool. Manchester United are going to have to look to retool if they're serious about getting back to the pinnacle. Chelsea are definitely going to have to retool. Manchester City are going to have to retool. And that's going to be really interesting. See what happens with all of them as well. So let's not forget them. Oh, and there's the small matter of Liverpool as well. They'll retool. They'll try to come back.
I love the fact I love the fact you say the small matter. Yeah, okay. We're only like 4 points behind you. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, never mind all that.
Small matter.
Never mind all that. So yeah, they're going to retool as well. And it's going to be really interesting because you're going to have a group of teams that are used to the congestion of Europe versus a team that's not used to it, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But if they're able to keep the squad together, if they're able to balance the whole duty of being in Europe as well, and depending on how far they go in the competition, now ideally, in my mind, they wouldn't go that far because then they can go and actually focus on everything domestically, which will be a huge help. They may well compete again, as I say, depending on how the other teams retool, what the new managers coming into the league bring, the form of certain players that have been off form this season, whether or not that changes. Same with the fitness. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens next season. But for right now, I'll say this: enjoy it for what it is. It's one of the greatest sporting stories. Forget football for a minute. It's one of the greatest sporting stories of an underdog achievement, and I'm not talking about Dodgeball, the film.
And that's a funny film. I love
that. In a very long time, if not all time. And I think Claudio Ranieri should be given the key to the city.
Oh yeah, as if he hasn't been already. It's probably that's probably on its way right now. Although I'd probably give it to him in the morning. I'll probably give it to him in the morning rather than giving it to him now. It might get put in a pint and end up in someone's back garden buried by their dog, like the Jules Rimet trophy after that was stolen.
But yeah, give him the key to the city. Have several streets named after all of the squad.
Vardy's already had the packet of crisps, the packet of Walkers this season.
No, I know, but I mean, it's that huge an achievement. It's that huge an achievement. Not just for the players, not just for the club, but for the city. It's literally for everyone. Right? I remember one of my last conversations I had, the G-Man was talking about Crystal Palace and the FA Cup final, and he was saying, it's of significance and importance for South East London, right, as a region, that Crystal Palace win, right? And I said to him, no, South East London is in need of a lot more significant things than just the Crystal Palace FA Cup win, right? But having to say that, I think in comparison with Leicester City, no, it's absolutely huge for the city. It's huge for the people of the city. It's huge for the fans. It's huge for the region. And it's absolutely massive for the club. It's massive for football. It's massive for anyone that's ever believed in anything. right? And if you're looking for a reason to believe, there it is. You want to believe that, you know, what seems to be impossible is possible. There's your proof.
Yeah,
right there.
I mean, for me, this is one of them. This is Leicester's moment. I'm not even gonna I'm not gonna take cheap swabs and make jokes at other people's expense or whatever. Like a lot.
No,
of
you
people,
save that for next year.
Like a lot of people on Twitter seem to be doing, taking cheap. Oh, Morgan's won more than Joe. It's like, brethren, it's not about that. Really and truly, it is about Leicester City and this whole season. They've won it with 2 games to spare. It's one of them ones. They have absolutely smashed it. Credit to them. Can't take it away from them. I mean, it's one of them. The only better team in terms of attacking was Tottenham. But at the end of the day, who's walked away with the league tonight because Tottenham dropped the ball? So it's a case of when it comes to winning trophies, Tottenham have done what they do best, and that's choke. But the fact of the matter is, like one funny thing that I've just seen that was relayed in a WhatsApp group that I'm in, was on Twitter now. Dad, tell me the story of when Leicester won the league. Well, son, it all started when Nigel Pearce's son racially abused a Thai hooker. And it's like, oh, God. Those are the kind of jokes that are coming out on Twitter already. It's like, yep, I've got one. People just waiting for it. But it is one of them ones. But one of the funny things is actually, big ups to John O'Lease, aka Jonathan Lease, from the Ibis Eagles. Grassroots is up next, by the way. Is one of them ones where Leicester haven't just become champions tonight; they'll also be one of the top seeds in the Champions League, avoiding Bayern, etc. So they now just need to win the next 2 Champions Leagues to emulate Nottingham Forest, which is funny. But the fact is, see, this is now where it becomes interesting, because they're not going to get in the Champions League. They won't get as difficult a group as Manchester City when they first won the league back in 2012. So next season's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting, because even if they place third in that group, which is no mean feat, they will drop into the Europa and they could have a hell of a chance at that. So this is going to be very, very interesting. I gotta say, this is actually going to be very, very interesting to see where Leicester go next. And at the end of the day, hey, this is Leicester City's night. I mean, you know what? Yeah, this turned into a special feature segment. But we don't so much mind that. That's how you know we're live. We did have a show planned. It's been completely derailed, but with good cause. I want to ask one person and one person only. Brad Hicks, number 1, how happy are you now? Number 2, what next for Leicester City? Are you going to compete next season? How about it?
Over the moon. Awesome. This has been years in the making, and I'm overjoyed.
My question is though, what next for Leicester? Are you going to be able to keep on? Are you going to be able to hold on? Are you going to be able to hold on to your better players? And what next?
Yeah, I think we can hold on for our better players. Now that we're champions, so I don't think they want to go anywhere. Yeah, we'll. I think we'll do this season. I think we can get past most of the Champions League. I think we can get to the knockout round quarterfinals.
I mean, it's just one of them ones. It's just one of them ones where it's like, it's just been. It actually has been just tremendous to see what's happened. I mean, and it's like, I think it's one of them ones where this kind of thing, where could this kind of thing happen again? I think it probably could at some point, but I don't think it will happen for a long time. But it's one of them. Was playing fields have got to be leveled for this kind of thing to happen more often. But I don't know, man. I mean, Brad, do you think something like this is going to happen again?
It could happen again. Who knows?
you know what I'm thinking. I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking we may as well wait a week to ask Brad that question again because he's so over the moon. he's utterly speechless. Oh, but you know what? Yeah, it is one of them ones where it is about that time for us to start moving and grooving on. And you know what? It is time for a segment near and dear to my heart, and at least it's one of them ones. We might have to hang on to that special feature segment that we were actually going to go into, but it's time for. Grassroots segments. Oh yes. Yeah, we roll straight into the grassroots segment, and you know what? Yeah, it is one of them ones where that story is just still amazing. It is one of them ones. It's going to be amazing now. It's going to be amazing in the future. It's going to be amazing looking back on it. It's just going to be one of them ones with knowing that you watched the season that was that amazing. It's it is just mad. But it's one of them ones where yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. But it is one of them ones where like one thing that has been amazing about it is the fact that league is not confined to league. And if there's any more that, it's the Ibis Eagles. And of course, the Ibis Eagles are the team we mainly focus on in the grassroots segment, among others. But the fact of the matter is, we want to give a big shout out to 14SAL at 14SAL on Twitter and www.southernamateurleague.co.uk. Also, big shout out to the Amateur Football Alliance at Amateur FA on Twitter and www.amateur-fa.com. And also the AFA Youth Council, facebook.com/AFA Youth Council and at AFA Youth Council on Twitter. And also a big shout out to Mr. Darrell David, who is the chairperson of the AFA Youth Council and our latest Pitch Talk Meets interview guest. youtube.com/Pitch Talk. Check out his Pitch Talk Meets interview. But yeah, coming back to the Ibis Eagles, newly merged club, merged at the beginning of the season. Literally over the course of a month, that merger went through. The month just going into the season, and it's one of them was it's been a fantastic experience. And one of the things we are kind of waiting on is the sixes, because the twos have already won the league. They've won their league, and the ones had their final game earlier today, which we'll get onto in a second. But it is one of them ones. It has been very, very interesting. Where it is, I like that. But staying with the Ibis Eagles just for a sec, www.ibiseaglesafc.co.uk and facebook.com/Ibis Eagles AFC is the group, and at Ibis Eagles AFC on Twitter. It is one of them was the results from today, 2nd of May 2016. Old Parkonians won's Ibis Eagles Old Parkonians ones 4, Ibis Eagles ones 1. It was 3-0 at halftime. No bookings. Tunde scored. Good effort. Very much weakened side. Obviously, with it being bank holiday and all that, it is one of them was where it was always going to be a struggle to get a side out, let alone going all the way to Potter's Bar to play. Big ups to Dave Handley, actually, who finished joint top of the club and actually played in that game earlier today just to try and get over the line. But the final one stats, they've used 52 players in 27 games, averaging 6.96 games per player and 13.4 players per game. Big shout outs to JT, aka John Timmins, for the stats. He is brilliant when it comes to stats. Dude's lightning quick when it comes to giving them out as well. Is one of them was our regular stato. Tunde made 26 appearances for the ones. Chris Marks made 24 for the ones, 25 for the club. Aaron O was 20 for the ones, 22 for the club. Damien was 19, 20 for the club. Fraser 19. Andy Matthews made 17 appearances, I think 23 overall. They scored 51, 1.9 goals per game, 1 own goal. 4. Tunde was top scorer with 18. Chris Marks got 12. Ali got 6. Simon N got 3. So makes for kind of interesting reading in the overall club stats. The overall club stats for the Ibis Eagles this season, because our season is now officially finished. 193 players used in 146 games, average of 9.58 games per player, 12.7 players per game, 1,848 total appearances, 63 players played 2 games or less, 27 players played 20 games or more. Personally, I'm proud to say I'm part of that crew. I think I was joint 10th in the club. Joint 10th in terms of appearances. I think I made 23, I think it was, which I'm actually quite happy with, considering I was injured for a month and a half. But yeah, Dave Handley tops the appearances with 34, 6 more than anyone else. So it's one of them. Was a couple of double headers in there, but commendable effort. So Dave Handley got 34, Charles Lindsley got 28, Sasha Javelic got 28, Nabil Khan got 26, Tunde got 26, Chris Marks got 25. Chris Roberts got 25 as well. 7 players played for 4 different sides. 24 players played for 3 different sides. Which, actually, no. Actually, which one am I included? 114 people played for just one team and 48 players played for 2 sides. Oh, no, I played for... Yeah, I'm actually one of the 7 players who have played for 4 different sides. So I started originally in the threes. My first game was in the threes. Homesteaded with the 5s, played for the 6s, played 1 for the 4s. Well, I got smacked in the face by a ball. Yeah, it's quite an interesting little stat, actually. So these stats, most of these stats I'm reading for the first time. So, but yeah, scored 376, 12 own goals for 2.6 goals per game. So Nabil Khan got 25, Dave Handley got 25, Pat Baptista got 21, Tunde got 18, Phil Obi got 14. And funnily enough, Phil Obi actually scored the Ibis Eagles' first ever goal as a merged club as well. A little stat for you there too. And Chris Marks got 12. So very, very interesting stuff. Also, the club will be running in Run Hackney as well this Sunday, 8th of May. So it's going to be that Hackney half marathon. There's going to be a few of the boys running in that. So the future is looking bright for the Ibis Eagles. As bright as it's looking for Leicester City, it's looking bright for the Ibis Eagles as well. So, but yeah, we are actually still waiting on the 6s. Big shout outs to Jason McGrath, Ben Herberts, and Dave Grant as well, because we actually met up in Chiswick because we were going to watch the Polytechnic 9s versus Old Salesians Freeze double header. The reason why we were going to is because the 6s, in terms of winning the league, they're basically, the stipulations are this. Similar to tonight with Chelsea and Tottenham. If Polytechnic were to draw one of the 2 games, if they get anything less than 2 wins, like I mentioned last week, if they get any less than 2 wins in that header against Old Salesians, then the Ibis Eagles 6s win the title. So, and it would be, after all they've been through, would be brilliant for them guys. And personally, Ben Herberts is a shoo-in for Club Man of the Year for the Sixers. But the fact of the matter is, it's one of them where it's just like, what a season it's been for them. They've had three managers, players cherry picked. They've gone through a hell of a lot. And it would be brilliant to see them guys win the league. Just like Leicester City, it would be one of the ones where it'd be like, yeah, no one could begrudge it. No one could be like, no, you don't deserve it. But the source of consternation is that we went down to watch that game. We ended up watching, I think it was Polytechnic's fives against one of the old Actonian sides instead, because we found out that Poly's nines against Old Salesians threes couldn't field a side. So, well, from what we hear, they couldn't field a side, so the game got cancelled that morning. We actually didn't know that until we turned up there at 2:00, expected to see the match. So it's one of them ones. The wait goes on, but it is a case of we're not sure if that game's going to get played again. And considering it's a double header, if the points get awarded, that would be a really, really harsh way for the Sixers to lose out on the title. So we're hoping that the 14 SAL, the league, don't just hand the points over. But then at the same time, it's one of them was like, I think this weekend coming up, which is the reason why the ones were playing earlier today. It's a case of time is running out in terms of getting the season finished, because the league usually likes to have it the first week of May latest. So in terms of finishing, I mean, there was that season a couple of seasons back where it was like some teams didn't play for 2 months because there was just rain. But yeah, the Sixers, the wait goes on. But it was good to sing some brewskis with with Dave Grant, Jason McGrath, and also Ben Herberts as well. Big shout outs actually, because Ben actually regularly listens to the show. But it's gonna be one of them ones where it's gonna be. I'm so hoping the Sixers. I'm so hoping that the Sixers actually do it, so we can get signed shirts and certain other things sent to certain people, and really kind of get stuff done. So one of them ones. As much as Leicester City's the fairy tale story, I mean, I've been one of them ones where I've seen it at grassroots level as well. These kind of fairy tale stories. The Ibis Eagles reserves winning their league by virtue of Q, one of our local rivals, beating Old Lionians in their final game of the season. So it's one of them ones. One of them was from newly merged club. There could be 2 league titles. Oh. I mean, Mr. Harniman, you wanted to mention something about Brisbane United and Stevenage Lady.
Right, yeah, I'll start with the Stevenage Ladies, what I was going to mention there. And they, last week, were promoted. This week, they were actually crowned champions. They won 6-0. I'm not quite 100% sure who it was against because I wasn't actually about. I was down Southend seeing Tom. So, yeah, but they're actually champions now. And I'm just going to see what league that was in. I think it's the Eastern something or other league, but I'll come back and find out that one in a minute. But yeah, for Brisbane United, they actually played the early hours of Saturday morning, and that's the other side that's managed by Jordan. He manages that one alongside a guy who's sort of on the touchline over in Australia, and you know he does a lot of the stuff there. But Jordan does it on Skype as well, and you know talks to him and interacts with him and that. So yeah, that's basically how Jordan does that. But yeah, they actually won 1-0 at the weekend against the deciding second place, Brisbane United top, and the opposition was second. And it was down to a very, very late winner from Stephen Norwood, and there was a penalty save in that one as well. So Brisbane United currently top of that league on 15 points and going very, very strong, unbeaten, you know, won every game. And Stevenage Ladies are champions as well, and they've got promoted. So good news all round.
Good stuff, man. Very, very good stuff. Russ Vernon, what's going on with Ivory Toast?
Yes, and you just heard about Jordan Stringer. He is the current head coach of Ivory Toast Football Club. The club coordinator is Manny, is Southend's Phil Brown. The media man is the man you've just heard before me, Mike Harniman, and the press officer is myself. You can catch Ivory Toast on Twitter at ivory_toast_. Their website is ivorytoastfootballclub.wordpress.com. They had their first game of the new season last week against Team Busquets, and they lost that one 5-1. And it was John says he was impressed with some of the display that I saw and with some of his players. And they go again tomorrow against Sheffield Wednesday. If you've got any questions for Jordan, message myself or Mike with those, of course, straight after PT or going into the early hours of Tuesday morning before that game, Tuesday evening. You can hear me and Mike will be interviewing Jordan, and then it'll be up on the Ivory Toast Facebook group, which is Ivory Toast Football Club. If you want to be added into that, then myself or Mike will invite you in. Just like Liam's in there, Tom Wood, a fellow PPT, is in there as well. Tor is in there as well, Mike Savara. And you can see the latest going on in there. Jordan posted in some statements and what's happening. We posted up there somewhere, with Brisbane United in there as well. Thanks to Matt for doing that this past weekend against Shorncliffe, and which is very good. And if you want to, myself and Mike do was radio show on Storm FM as well, guys. You can check out the next Jordan posts his link in there, so you can all have a listen to that. If you haven't got myself or Mike on Facebook, if you guys want to be added in there, just let us know your name on Facebook, and we'll invite you, add you as a friend, and invite you in on there as well. So, and just want to say, yes, earlier today, Liam, and this weekend, Luke Thomas, who's been out with a broken collarbone for the majority of the season, missed the opening game of last season, returned to live training last week. He's back in full contention now, full training yesterday, full training again today with Ivory Toast Football Club, and that means he's got 3 striker Driscoll and Jack Gallagher. So any of those who start tomorrow or involved, if you're all involved, let's make sure those all go on the score sheet in the victory against Sheffield Wednesday, who was promoted along with Team Busquets to this season. So if you've got a question for Jordan, get in contact with Mike or myself, and we'll pull that question across to Jordan, and then we'll send you the link so you can listen to the interview with Ivory Toast head coach Jordan Stringer, with myself, press officer Russ, and the media man Mike Harniman. Back into the studio to Liam Angell, shooting LJA.
Oh, good, man. Oh, good. You know what? It is one of them ones where we're in that home straight. We're in that home straight. That little bit of the show that we not quite vacating the place with the haste yet, but we're in that home straight because it is time for
stars. -5 stars.
Oh wait, not yet. It's not time for that yet. Well, it almost is because it's time for
Stuff of the week.
Yeah. Where it is time to go through stuff of the week. You know what? Let's go for goal of the week first. And my goal of the week, Saul Niguez. That goal for Atletico against Bayern Munich. Easy goal of the week. Easy goal of the week for me. Honorable mention to Andros Townsend's free kick, but Saul Niguez, this dude danced past 5 people, and that ain't just any people. That was Bayern Munich in the Champions League semi-final. Saul Niguez. Jazzy Fizzle, who you going for?
Honorable mention to Saul's goal, but I'm going to give it to Gary Cahill's goal tonight.
Yeah.
Because it was the start of Leicester winning the Premier League. And that's the only reason.
Oh, good shot. Good shot. I was gonna say, I'm glad you didn't say Eden Hazard, because this one of them was Eden Hazard, absolute dog turd season, and he pops up in the last couple of games. It's like, well done, mate. You're on Ronaldo and Messi's level, aren't you? So, anyway, let's go for Tom Wood. Who are you going for? Goal of the week?
Mark Noble.
No, good shout. That is actually a good shout. Let's go Russ Vernon. Who are you going for? Goal of the week?
For me, Liam, I'm going to give an honourable mention to Hazard for I thought that was a good finish. But for me, I'm going to give it my goal of the week to Andros Townsend as well. Fantastic free kick for Newcastle of the weekend, and it was a fantastic goal, and he deserves goal of the week.
Good shout. Good shout. Let's go for Wayne Schumann. Who are you going for? Goal of the week?
I was going to give it to Townsend, but I think I'm going to give it to Troy Deeney's winner against Villa.
Hear that. Ryan Sonny, who are you going for?
My goal of the week's coming from the Panorama National League South, and it's Les Affel's lob from just inside the opposition's half, and he lobbed the keeper who was tumbling back and trying to save it, but it went in. So my goal of the week this week is Les Affel.
Fair. Brad Hicks, who are you going for? Goal of the week?
Honorable mention to Stephen Gleeson, but I'm going to give it to Super Tommy Bradshaw of Walsall.
Yeah. Let's go for Mr. Harniman. Who are you going for?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, Liam. I think I'm going to give it to Saul Niguez for his goal. I thought that was a goal worthy of winning any game. So, yeah, I've got to give it to him, really.
Fair dues. JBK, who are you going for?
I'm actually going to go for 2 goals. Honourable mention to Francesco Totti. Not just last week, but for tonight. We need to see his free kick tonight. The overall goal was 27 years of waiting, and it's now finally happened. So that's the main goal. So well done, Liverpool.
Fair. That's fair. That's one of them ones. So that's a good shout. Let's go for player of the week. Jazzy Fizzle, who are you going for? Player of the week?
It's a tough one. Player of the week, but I think I'm gonna give it to Claudio Ranieri. I know what you're saying. He's like, but he's the manager. What do you mean? But his playing career didn't really amount to much, right? And as a manager, he either resigned or was sacked from all of his previous jobs in management, and now he's won the Premier League.
Fair.
So that's why he's my player of the week.
Fair dues. Let's go for Ryan Sonley. Who are you going for? Player of the week?
Honourable mention to Sadio Mane, but my player of the week is Jamie Richards, who over the last week he got me into Truro City's games for.
Not fair. I am actually gonna go for. I'm gonna go for a combo. Combo breaker. Anyway, my players of the week. Dave Grant, Jason McGrath, and Ben Herberts as well. Because it was one of them was like those were the guys who so dedicated to the Sixers cause that they were like, you know what, we're gonna go down and watch our Oppo. We ain't gonna wait on the website. We're gonna go down and watch our Oppo and see what happens in terms of them winning the league. Even though the game got cancelled, still they showed the dedication to get down there. So that's who I'm going for. Let's go. Tom Wood, who are you going for? Player of the week.
Can I say the whole Leicester team and that ability to actually win the league?
Fair dues. Well, that's fair. Let's go for Wayne Schumann. Who are you going for?
I'm going to give it to Alex Iwobi at Arsenal. I think he's the only player in the last sort of month or two that actually, him and Sanchez, actually look like they want to do something on the pitch.
Fair. JBK, player of the week.
Going to mention it again. Obviously, the Liverpool faithful. Going to give it to them. There's the guys and women that have pretty much gone for 27 years. I'm also going to give it to Francesco Totti. At the same time, he's pretty much shown Roma how to still play football at the age of pretty much 40. And I think that's the last one for me is a team called Brentford, who won the league on Saturday against the team that I'm going to be managing next season. The way that they put away their chances was quite good.
No, fair dues. Brad Hicks, who are you going for? Player of the week.
I'm going to agree with Tom. Whole Leicester team.
Fair.
Brilliant season.
No, fair dues. I can't blame you on that one. It's one you can't begrudge it for. Who hasn't given their player of the week yet? Let's go for Russ Vernon. Who are you going for?
I'm going to agree with Tom and Brad, the entire Leicester City squad, including the manager Claudio Ranieri. What an achievement they have done this season. Fantastic achievement. Who would have thought it, when, especially after last season when they just survived in the Premier League? Who would have thought that this season would have stormed until the Premier League by storm and won it with just 2 games to spare? So congratulations once again to Leicester City and Claudio Ranieri, and also to Brad Hicks and Tasha Smith as well, who I know is a massive Leicester fan who's in bed poorly but crying with happiness this evening after that fantastic achievement for Leicester City. So Leicester City's squad and the fans and Claudio Ranieri, what an achievement and what a story this has been for this Barclays Premier League season.
Fair dues. Mr. Harniman, who are you going for?
Yeah, for me, I'm going to give an honourable mention to Sadio Mane, also to Leicester City for their title win today as well. But my player of the week is on a bit of a different note, really. I'm going to give it to Nicholas Feyerabend, who passed away, a German who's a 19-year-old. He died in a car crash over the weekend. So, yeah, he's got to be my player of the week.
Yeah, no, that's fair. No, that is fair. Let's go for flop of the week. Flop of the week. You know, I'm gonna go for a more comedic flop of the week, and definite
-5 stars
to Tottenham, because it's one there was certain Tottenham fans getting above their station thinking that they were going to win the league, and I always maintained, oh yeah, what Tottenham are going to win the league.
If I wanted crap out of you, I'll pick it out of your teeth.
Because it's one of them ones, when they surrendered that 2-0 lead, it was a case of,
tell me I did not just see that.
Because that ended up as a true
-5 stars
performance against a Chelsea team whose season has been dog-turd. From reigning champions to 9th. They're in 9th at the moment. So, yep, that's where I'm going. Tottenham Hotspur. You dropped the ball again. That's where I'm going. Jazzy Fizzle, where you going?
No, it's difficult to look past them. I mean, this was the only way for them to go and perhaps delay Leicester winning the title, you know, in the first half, to doing the business. But it really was a game of 2 halves, and, you know, the second half was really unbelievable. You know, but I think it's all part of that championship choke. They were so close to it, just got a little bit too much.
But Spurs always choke when it comes to winning trophies.
They flew a little bit too close to the sun, and congratulations to Leicester City. It's just been phenomenal.
Definitely.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Definitely.
And I think when you're coming up against a force like that, they're difficult to beat. But yeah, Tottenham, for being able to prolong it, being so close to it, having done the job in the first half, and then deciding to drop tools in the second, flop of the week.
Nah, definitely. Mr. Harniman, who are you going for flop of the week?
I'm going to give my flop of the week to Tottenham as well. Like Jesse said there, really, for them to be so close, but to bottle it as per usual. So this one for the Tottenham fans, 61, never again. And I mean, never again.
No, fair dues. Fair dues. Let's go. Brad Hicks, who you going for flop of the week?
I'm agreeing with all you so far, Tottenham, and especially Moussa Dembele. For God's sake, what are you trying to prove?
No, fair dues. Fair dues. Wayne Schumann, who you going for?
I would say Tottenham because obviously as an Arsenal fan, so glad they didn't win the league. But coming back on Pitch Talk after all these months, my flop of the week, just for us, got to be Leeds United. Who else?
That defeat of relegated against relegated Charlton. That's a good one. I like that. Kerbal Ryan was track one. Russ Vernon, who you going for?
I'll give an honourable mention to my boys Leeds for a shocking performance and on a telling up after we conceded 2. I'm going to agree with the rest of those Tottenham Hotspurs. The right back in the title race are 2-0 up. They let that slip tonight and the less of the title, so Tottenham Hotspurs. But an honourable mention to my boys, Leeds United.
Fair dues. Tom Wood, who you going for flop of the week?
Begins with L and ends with S. Leeds.
Oh, Lord. That's a good one. JBK, who you going for?
Honourable mention to Adi Sissoko for giving up a pointless red card to Aston Villa on Saturday. Also, honourable mention to the police and obviously everybody in the Hillsborough. Also, honourable mention to Dundee United, but mine has to be VfB Stuttgart. They were 17th, I think they were 16th in the German league tonight. They're now in the bottom 3 after a 6-2 jobbing against their relegation rivals Werder Bremen. It was close to being 8, so that's how bad it was. But yeah, that's my flop of the week. Could say Leeds, but I don't think I really want to go there.
Yeah. You don't want to go to Leeds? That's unfortunate. It's nice this time of year. Anyway, it is one of them ones. You know what? Let's go for let's go for team of the week just to end with. And first of all, I want to ask, all right, oh yeah. Sorry, Ryan. Ryan, your flop of the week. Forgot about that.
My flop of the week is Adam Legston of Birmingham and the linesman of that disallowed Daniel Ayala's goal, which was clearly onside. And honourable mention to Liam for nearly forgetting me.
Don't you forget about me now.
And the worst part was you didn't, right? So, I mean, like, how are we going with half awards? So, as soon as we want to give half awards, right, Ryan, there's half an award for you. Flop of the week.
And that half an award definitely deserves
-5 stars.
Gotta love it. You know what? I'm gonna ask one question and one question only. Has anyone actually got a team of the week besides Leicester City? Okay, Mr. Harniman, who you going for? Team of the week.
Right, for me, I'm going to give it to the Stevenage ladies for being crowned champions of the Eastern League. And yeah, you know, for a club that was only formed a couple of years back, to be able to say that they're champions of their league now as well, and to be playing at a higher level next season, I have to give it to them, to be fair.
Fair dues. Okay, I was gonna say if you came out and said Leicester City, I swear I would have been. I was very tempted to say if I say has anyone got anything but Leicester, and someone says Leicester, they're getting kicked in the face. Not literally.
Oh yeah, I just want to give an honourable mention to Swansea as well. Thanks for reminding me, Liam.
Shut up. About honourable mention to Swansea. It's one of them ones.
If I want any crap out of you, I'll pick it out of your teeth.
Russ Vernon, who you got for?
I'm going to give it to the other team that Jordan Sugar manages, which is Brisbane United. 5 wins, 50 points after their first 5 games in their season. And it's the first 5 games of the season. Fantastic achievement for them. And well done, Jordan. I hope you can take that form going into Arbiters Football Club. And I'm going to give Leicester my honourable mention this week, Liam.
Fair dues. Brad Hicks, who are you going for? Or do I need not ask?
Well, honourable mention to Walsall for their performance today, but of course, team of the week or team of the season, Leicester City.
Fair. Right. Being that you're a Leicester supporter, fair dues. Fair dues. I'd be surprised if you didn't, to be honest. It's a great achievement. Wayne Schumann, team of the week.
I'm going to give it to Stevenage for, it all looks doom and gloom a month or so ago, but that win at Luton a month ago or so, and we managed to scrape relegate. They managed to scrape relegation and stay in the Football League, but also, let's.
You
like that one, yeah?
That was good. I got give you. I got in the words of Jesse Fizzle. The slow clap. All right. Sorry, Jesse. I had to borrow that one from you. That was good. Oh god, that was funny. Ryan Solly, who you got for team of the week?
Honourable mention to Weldstone and their fans for singing for the whole 90 minutes against Truro after coming back from 1-0 down to beat Truro 2-1 with goals from Louis Jefferson scoring twice.
Oh, I'm still laughing at what Wayne said. Still laughing at what Wayne said. Oh my word. JBK, who you going for? Team of the week.
Yeah, honourable mention to Werder Bremen, but the goal was, and I've actually forgotten it already. Crap.
No.
I was sitting there with it, and then all of a sudden, that's who it was. Now I remember. Honourable mention to Burnley.
Great shout. Oh, that is actually a good shout. I was going to say, is JBK stupid? As he's turned stupid.
Yeah, I'm going to give honourable mention to Wigan Athletic, but honourable mention to Burnley for finding the way just to get back in. And I have to go with flop of the week of Middlesbrough for not actually doing a business against Birmingham, as well as probably dropping the ball again into the playoffs.
I was going to say JBK for almost forgetting his team of the week.
-5 stars.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, I had to wait a while.
Hey now.
That's a big game.
Oh, no, it's fair dues. That is actually fair dues. I think everyone's given. Everyone's given their flop of the week. Sorry, and their team of the week. It's one of them ones, man. It's one of them ones. Yeah. Jazzy Fizzle, any last words on team of the week?
Am I dying?
9 what?
Am I dying?
Not that I know of, unless you got something.
No, because you're like, have I got any last words? I'm like, last words about what?
In peace. Oh Lord. It's a funny way to end the show. It's as funny as I can manage. Oh, that is literally.
But no, in terms of me signing off, I want to say a big thank you to the Skypers, big thank you to everybody on the socials. Big thank you to everyone that makes the show what it is. It is we the people for the people. This is your Monday Night Football and Fixed. As always, I've been Jesse Fizzle. He's been Straight Shooting LJA. He's been presenting Fit Talk to you. Thank you all very much. We'll see you all next week. Good night.
There we go. There we go. It's one of them ones. I feel like ending the show now, but we're still
No, I'm kidding. Let's do the proper way. Let's do it the proper way.
All right. You know what? It's that time. It's that time. Vacating. Vacating.
Hi, I'm John Sitton, and I'm here with Gavin, Liam, and Gerald on Pitch Talk.
The football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions.
Hello, I'm Rob Russ. My name is Christian Carambeu.
I'm grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hi, I'm Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan, and you're listening to Pitch Talk, the only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I'm Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Hello, quick. I'm
Of Ibis and co-director of Motivation Talk.
That pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions, because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And of course, the pitch is where we talk. It's been a great season, still isn't over yet. And also, we're going to be here during the summer as well. So we've got a lot lined up. But it is one of them ones. www.pitch-talk.com is where you can find out all the information about your Monday night footballing fix. That's our official website, www.pitch-talk.com. Also, Facebook.com/Pitch Talk. Become a fan, become a friend, become a member of the group. Join the footballing revolution. We are working so hard to create. Also, YouTube.com/Pitch Talk is where you can find all of the videos. 075358044 is the mobile number. Call us, text us, let us know your views. If you text in, leave your name. Of also Twitter